Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
And that one rims out. Gophers with a chance. The three on the way. It goes! Tyson! Now Blackwell for the win! Good!
Right now, point of attack on screens in every area.
Well, they needed that. Opened up Swartz, knocked it down. Lazy pass. Harper picked it off. He's got Dix. Decided he didn't have numbers, kicked it out. Now there's the three. Nailed it. Step back, Swartz.
Boys is going early here. Here's Jamarcus. Step back. Kick out. Left side. Extra pass. Left corner. Sanford puts it up. No good. Rebound by Sanford. Gets it off to Mast. Mast kicks it out to Frager. Shoots the three. Got it! Huskers up 15-12. Offensive board. Second chance. They cash in. Reverses on the pick and pop to Mast, who drives the ball against the smaller defender. Draws a triple. Up top, Jacobson's three. Got it! Beautiful basketball. Hale with a trio. Oregon ball. Lynn drives. Floater. No, the pass. Demir lost it. Huskers have it. I think Jacobson got a hand on it. And here comes a three ball on the way. Got it! By Sanford. Here's Hoiberg, left side of the floor. Up top, Frager again with a three ball. And it is good! The dog! Frager on fire. Huskers on fire. 3:34 to go. 86-49.
Good morning. Welcome in. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB? How we doing?
Nobody could see that. Well, some people.
I think they could. There's a camera.
I already told you I chose violence this morning. You could be
on the internet.
You could be sprayed, slayed, or actually stay. Oh no, I know you're too cool. You can play it off. You're like, hey, whatever, until you're on the receiving end.
I mean, listen,
it's all good.
If I changed how I behaved based on whether you choose,
what fun would that be?
Yeah, that's not fun for anybody.
It's a total crapshoot.
We're out here, right?
Yeah.
That's where the magic happens.
We are. He said, "Oh, I'm losing my voice. I got it."
I was saying, I love how he says he's losing his voice, then he just screams anyway.
Frager! I was waiting. There was like this awkward pause. He was like, swings it right. Shoots the three. I was like,
He's saying he was on delay like our boy Shane over there?
No, Shane is really. Shane, did you hit me with a weekend delay? He showed me a deal from PlayStation.
Oh yeah,
that I think was over the weekend.
I think it was from Friday, wasn't it?
That might have been your longest delay ever.
Ever?
And you've had some doozies.
Yeah, he's had full days before.
Yeah.
Going a full weekend, though, that's something else.
Just to remember it.
Yeah, well, it's probably all he's been thinking about since then.
Although, Shane, I will tell you, like, you could shop for me almost any time.
And get some deals?
Yeah, like, you're really good at that. He turned you on to a store.
Which one?
The half price thing.
Oh, I mean, I've been to half price books. I didn't know they had like video games and stuff.
Yeah, Shane, you pretty much know where everything is, don't you?
I mean,
if it's refurbished.
If it's refurbished, yeah.
What did my old boss Candace Gregory used to say? Gently used, or she had a term for used.
Yeah, gently.
And I can't remember what it was, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that.
That's nice.
Yeah, I like when we evolve with our verbiage. When my dad was doing all this stuff in the school district, there used to be this term at-risk youth. And over time, he grew to hate that term.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what he started using, but he got away from at-risk.
Yeah.
Do
you remember what about it he didn't like?
I don't know. I can't exactly remember, and I'll do it. It'll be an injustice. But he is very he was one of those people that, like words matter. So he always chose them really carefully.
Yeah.
And
Was it like he didn't want the preconceived notions like getting into people's heads?
Yeah, because he didn't
About what a kid was.
He felt like he was a big, so I used to want to fight over anything. And sometimes people would say things that aren't really that bad. I was just looking for, I don't know, just a bad kid. And he'd say, you give that word power. You give that word ownership. I'm like, what does that even mean, man? I think most people would be mad if they were called darky. Okay, I didn't mean to, what I mean? But that's just how it was. So I come by it honestly.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah. So anyway, Shane, you're all right with me.
T-Mac says pre-loved. That's what some people say for used. Pre-loved.
No, it was gently was in the. I'm gonna ask her. She's very busy.
Well,
do you think? How about an out of context text?
You don't think she's listening to the show now?
What's the term you used for? And she'd be like, Damon, what are you doing? That's the only job. No, I'm dead serious. I remember like openly, kind of being teary eyed to leave.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's emotional.
Yeah. I really liked that job.
Was that the one with the district?
So I was their development director. Like,
oh no, that was Open Door Mission. Candace, I know Candace.
Yeah, so like really started the capital campaign with the Timberlake House and the new renovation.
Yeah.
But I actually would.
So that all got done right before I started working there.
So
all the new buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
And the new Lydia House.
Yeah. So
all that got done right before
a substantial amount.
Oh no, you're talking multi-seven figures.
It was early 2000s.
Yeah.
Right. So it was 04, 05, 06. And I have a sensitive. I have a soft spot for doing things that you ordinarily you don't want to do, and you do it for the greater good, and it doesn't work out. So that was when I was just dabbling in coaching. I was doing a thing with the Beef, helping run their front office, and had brought in Petito and Chavez and some of those guys. So I had both. I had feet everywhere, and not a lot's changed, as you can see. And Bob Danenauer came to me, and
old UNO AD,
and then
OPS,
director, and Jerry Barty. They made this pitch. They're like, hey man, we gotta get you back in the district, teaching degree, this, that, and the other. Short story long, found it in with teammates. It's a contracted job, and I would split my time with Title I so they could match my salary, and because I did kind of want to start coaching.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got talked into taking the Northwest job, which was very tough.
Yeah.
Right. But I remember going back to tell Candace that I was going to probably do something different. I didn't know if I wanted to. I think I did it. Number one, Dan and I was a great family friend.
Yeah.
And I had a ton of respect for Jerry Barty. So saying no was hard. So everything you not everything, but a lot of what you hear with situations and coaching hires and taking jobs, I always look at it from that vantage point on, what do I always say? What's a peace of mind worth?
Yeah.
That it was birthed from that.
That makes sense.
That's why I don't.
And sometimes people leave jobs they don't want to leave.
And I overcorrected. So now I'm soft, right? It's like, well, if you don't want to, you don't have to. Because I know the ramifications.
They're kind of trying to talk somebody into something.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I overcorrected.
I also think,
but I'm learning.
I think there's something to, I don't know. I don't want to try and talk somebody into something they don't want to do.
Yeah, and I remember, and I just had some fascinating conversations. I remember Tony White came to. He was recruiting CJ and Caleb, and he was fresh up. All the rumor. Well, it's funny because of the SC rumors.
Yeah, all the rumors SC 2
so
years
he
ago.
literally, it was the morning after all the SC hype. And you know me, if you kind of know me but don't know me, I'm much more aggressive.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll talk to
you'll come off very, but it's just being
inquisitive. Yeah, I'm just
being straightforward.
Very inquisitive.
Yeah.
So I was like, Coach, man, I was like, you got to, what? Just tell me,
what's the deal with the SC
What
thing?
is going on with SC?
Yeah.
I said, do you feel like sharing? So, you've been around. Have you been in West Side?
Mm-hmm.
It is all sorts of nooks and crannies. So we took the long way around to the athletic director's office. And I was just getting insight. And he was talking about all the things that he had to consider. And in my head, I just had all these flashbacks. I was like, ooh, that'd be good. Ooh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, if your radar's pinging, trust that.
Yeah.
Oh, but he said that? Maybe you could compromise on that. You know what I mean? Like, so
I kind of weigh in all the.
So that's how I look at every situation. Like, ask Dollar Bill about coming here.
Oh yeah.
It took 2 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
2 years. It took a year.
Took a year.
It took a year and a half.
Yeah.
Took a year and a half.
Well, and I talked to you a lot through that.
Yeah. Yeah. And basically I was afraid
because I was like, take me with you.
Well, I was afraid.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you've done something for a long time,
and
we're very successful at it.
I was afraid. So
yeah. No, it makes sense.
These coaching carousels and guys. So I'm very. That's why I like talking to players that want to leave or want to stay.
You get a good sense.
Yeah, because I have my whole laundry list.
Yeah.
And you've been through enough where you can kind of tell, like, ooh, that's fool's gold.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, they believe it. So I like.
Yeah. Like you can tell when they believe something that isn't actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Or when they've got a good reason.
The one thing I have learned is if number one, I wouldn't recommend doing unless you're destitute or you have like a goal of, hey, I have to pay for Timmy's surgery. I've got to do this. Money would be my last motive.
I know I talk about
money would be my last motive.
Movie
because unless you know how much. Well, my famous line that I birthed from this.
How much could I make to be miserable?
Yep.
Yeah. Everybody's got a number.
I developed that honestly over time.
Yeah, everybody's got a number.
How much would you have to pay me for me to be miserable?
I know what my number isn't.
Really?
Like I've made a certain amount and left that because I was miserable.
Yeah. I burned through certain amounts, but I was ill-equipped.
Yeah.
It's like I'm ill-equipped. I don't know enough. And it's like, yeah, like most times I'm going to be my own worst enemy.
Like I definitely know what number it has to be higher than for me to be miserable because I left a situation.
I don't think you'd enjoy being miserable.
I don't either. That's what I'm saying. Like I know the mark where it is. That's not enough.
Yeah.
Like it would have to be much higher than that.
So I was listening to Biscotti. I almost want to say Biscotti like the cookie.
I do too every time. The Ravens owner.
Talking about Tomlin and Harbaugh and the offensive lines and
bleep, wouldn't that be awesome?
He was super candid, right?
Was.
And then Stefanski in Baltimore, and I'm like, what are the conditions in which I would? It's almost like I don't know. What I would go to a competitor.
Oh yeah.
After long success somewhere. Wait, I think I read this story. After long success somewhere else.
I think it depends on, for me personally, you know me though. What do you think it would depend on for me?
Like you would need, for you, it's about you need to be secure in the fact that those people are riding with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with how it ended with the previous place.
Really? Oh, so you it just naturally?
Naturally, well, because I'm petty.
So you'd be like Eichhorst and hire Riley?
No.
Not that extreme?
No, because that I think is.
What's that?
I feel like I'm petty, but I don't feel like I'm emotional. Like if somebody burns me, I'll want to burn them.
You have a ton of emotions. I would not call you emotional.
I would agree. I used to be. I've worked really hard to not allow my emotions to always dictate my behavior, right? But if I leave a situation or get told to leave a situation, like how that situation ends is going to directly impact how comfortable I am going to a competitor.
You know what's funny about that is I'm looking at, like, let's take Coach Hoiberg or coaches leaving or whatever. In this case, coaches staying. So what do you think if you're
players staying? But that's okay. We'll get to that. Andrew Marshall.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's right. You can continue.
So it goes the other way too,
Mhm.
because Coach Hoiberg, he's going to look at this thing, and through his experience, it's not like, ooh, man, thank goodness, nobody made any rash decisions. We'll talk about it like that. We'll say, oh man, whatever he and Trev decided, to kind of push through and to make the changes, man, that really worked out. Coach Hoiberg's probably thinking, I was such and such and such and such to begin with. I appreciate the foresight in allowing me to do it, but I'm not going to allow it to motivate me going forward, because then it gets dangerous.
Yeah.
Like you get into that,
Like,
I'll show you, or see, I told you, or all the – that's where the life experiences help after what he'd been through it, a couple of his previous stops, where the experience helps you from your vantage point of what's going on in the real world, because you hear in his pressers. When he talks, it would be easy to wag the finger. It just would.
Just be like, hey, you didn't trust me.
And
you know what I think part of it is, though?
I love he stays above, even, and now the new thing is these uncharted waters. What does this mean for the program? Everything is, what does this mean for the program? And he just doesn't allow himself to go there. So you know who else does it?
The media,
his
the fans,
team,
everybody. I mean, everybody.
No, we tried it. We tried to take him there.
Fair.
We try to take him there. He just isn't having it.
The thing that I think is interesting about the Hoiberg situation, right? There's a couple. Number one,
and basically that came from the hirings and the firings and the other job opportunities. Fresh on the heels of St. John's getting rid of Abdelmassi, and it just like life is funny. Like that. What you do with your experiences when you're being courted.
I think there's a couple things that are interesting about the Hoiberg situation. One, his experience with the Chicago Bulls, I think, is really sort of informed the way he acts now. Because
you think it's under or over or not stated enough, or like what?
I think it's understated. I think
he doesn't talk about it much.
I would say he doesn't talk about it much. We sort of just skip over it. When we talk about his prowess, we talk about Iowa State, right? But he had a very strange situation in Chicago. He was brought in to coach a certain type of team, and then the front office gave him a different team, right? Like, it was like, that's what they went and got, like Dwayne Wade. They did some weird stuff in Chicago as soon as he got there. And the situation that he inherited was not the situation he ended up needing to coach. And so I think it gave him some level of appreciation for trusting your bosses. Right. I'm sure they sold him on, hey, because I remember thinking this at the time, because he took over for Tom Thibodeau, who was an amazing defensive coach, got those guys to play incredibly hard. And I looked at it and I go, okay, we had just seen this happen with the Warriors, where we had Mark Jackson, who was really good at coaching defense and got those guys to play incredibly hard, but they were dysfunctional offensively despite having the guys they had. I think Chicago looked at that and said, hey, if we get a guy like Steve Kerr, we can have results like the Warriors. The Warriors hadn't turned into the Warriors yet, so it wasn't a crazy thought to have. And then they brought in Fred Hoiberg to coach this team the way Steve Kerr had coached the Warriors, and then they gave him a totally different team because they got intoxicated by the idea of signing an old D Wade, right? So I think trusting the people in power above you became very, very important to Fred Hoiberg. The other thing that I think got really important for Fred Hoiberg, and why he talks the way he does and isn't just like, ooh, good thing that some people didn't act rashly, is because I think he's humble enough to understand that it would have been justified to fire him after 4 years. But he also understands,
like, it wouldn't have been a reach.
Yeah, it'd be like, yep, I didn't get it done. Yeah. It is what it is. Like,
I could rock with that.
But
I could definitely rock with that.
I think he also appreciates, and this goes back to the trusting the people in power ahead of you, that when he cast the vision of how he wanted to change, that they believed him and let him see it through. Because if he pitches that and he doesn't think Trev is going to let him see that through, then we're having a different conversation about Nebraska basketball today. But not only did Trev trust Fred, which I think is the thing we talk about more, But Fred had to trust Trev that it wasn't going to be a situation where Trev actually was going to fire him no matter what, because that's what we saw on the football side of things. I think the trust did not go, even though Trev gave a little, like it would have been totally justified to fire Frost after year 4, right? Like instead of restructuring the contract, which by the way, Fred did also. We forget that. Okay. These situations are stunningly similar between football and basketball at the University of Nebraska. Trev treated each guy almost identically. Restructured the contract, gave them extra time when it would have been totally justifiable to fire them. One guy trusted.
When people get mad at Coach Will's extension, do you think they know the deals of the contract?
They do not.
They can't.
Nope. There's more years. There's no new money, but it's fine. It doesn't.
They can't.
It whatever.
All right, but anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. But
Shane, Doc Sadler, I need Doc Sadler. Can I have Doc Sadler, please?
No big deal.
No,
totally
that's
on
not,
me.
No,
I don't even recognize what we're doing.
I clearly
We're gonna be all right.
no. I know what we're doing, and I do think we're going to be okay. That's not the one I want. It's my
exciting.
fault. No.
Selfish.
Oh, jeez.
And that's totally on me.
Yeah,
That's the only one I had left.
Yeah, appreciate you going last on that.
Emptied the clip on that one, Shane.
Speaking of which,
I think the main difference, besides the actual individuals, but I think the main difference in the actual hiring, firing, and administrative process between those two decisions was that Fred trusted when everything got restructured and he got the extra time that Trev wanted him to succeed. And when it happened to Frost, he assumed he was getting fired no matter what.
Interesting.
That's how it looks from the outside. If you trust, like you said with me, if I trust that you're riding for me, I'm going to act differently than if I feel like you've got it out for me.
Yeah.
Those are two very different scenarios. I think Fred trusted that Trev wanted the best for him and was riding with him and believed he could do it. I think Scott Frost looked at the situation, looked at the restructured contract, looked at the pay cut, looked at everything else, and said, oh, they're getting rid of me anyway. What's the point?
It's fascinating. I just had a really in-depth conversation last night with somebody that I care about deeply, who is trying to decide between school choices.
Yeah.
Where to play, where not to play. And man, I can't believe you just said that. At the core of his decision making is he has to weigh how bad you want to see it through. Do you ever think that is an indication one way or another of whether you want to do something or not? How bad do you want to see it through? Because you know what we do with young people, with players, we label them as, well, it defines their competitiveness. Well, if they're competitive, and then they fill in the blank. That's how we talk, as though it's that linear, even though sometimes it's just like, how about you blowing up my sales a little bit? How about you just believe in what I'm doing?
Yeah, so what you've been talking about, like the power of somebody just believing in you, like with Frager or whoever else.
Because sometimes that matters.
Yeah. I mean, I can use, like, that is I'm very familiar with that. Like, that's, I don't know if you remember, not to get like too into our dynamic or whatever, but I don't know if you remember when there was a job over at 1620 that I wanted that I didn't get. And I texted you because I had just watched the Brooke Behringer documentary. And you actually are in that documentary saying after Brooke had done all these things, it was the competition going into 95, going into all these things, you're like, it felt like he just wanted somebody to say they believed in him and that he had earned it for doing the right thing.
Super consistent with that.
And what did I text? I texted you almost line for line that, because I was like, man, and this is, you're going through the thing with Hurrdat. You're not there yet, but you're talking about it, whatever. And I said, I just want somebody to believe in me. And that's why I'm here. But that is a huge difference in a guy like Braden Frager. I'll even go, we both like Sanford. I didn't know he had this in him. You think it matters that Fred Hoiberg believes in what Price Sanford is?
You know what's funny about that is what was the number one thing that I liked about Sanford all year watching him play like this? I would go, look, you guys, he's always had this in him.
Yes.
Right. I would say that even early. I was like, I've seen.
You said it when he transferred in. You're like, oh, he's more than what he was at Iowa.
I was like, he's more than that.
And I was like, are you sure? Like, that's all we saw at Iowa.
Yeah.
And you were right, but what did it take to get it out of him? Yeah. Opportunity and somebody believing that there was more in him.
I do think it's pretty cool how we kind of undersell the freedom, the free to be me thing.
You know what's funny about that though?
Because it
matters. It totally matters.
You asked me about. I remember. So, I think it was Connor. Might have been happy. This was a couple years ago, and he was talking about like freshmen. Really good freshmen kind of flying under the radar. So I texted him and I was like, hey.
In football?
Basketball.
Okay.
And I was like, I know I'm going to sound like a total nerd, but you have to reference Khalil Mack. Like, he's an Ivy League guy, really, really good, putting up super numbers. Like, I think Khalil Mack belongs on the list. And if you remember in our group text last year, I was like, man, Khalil Mack is better than this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going from the Ivy League to the Big East. Like, he's just
better than what he's seeing.
He's better than what we're seeing.
Yeah.
And I listened to Cooley talk about the development of Mack and his game. And you know what a lot of it stems from?
What's that?
Allowing him to be who he is. Versus, and for some reason, it's really hard for coaches to do that.
Yeah.
It just is.
Well, you know what I think part of the trick is I think people have.
I mean, how are you managing Frager? And you don't even really know. You just know what people say, like me or Bars.
What people say about him. Yeah. I don't know him, but it's, man.
It takes some stones.
You know the thing that I'll give, and I noticed this probably for the
or
first.
Some discern or whatever the word.
I think discernment, but also conviction. I think conviction's the word.
Okay.
With it. One of the things that stood out to me last night when I'm watching Frager, because like he got on a little bit of a heater for a while, and one of the things that I was stunned by that I don't think I had noticed before was for a guy that is described the way we describe Frager, like kind of got a little FU in him, got that chip on his shoulder, like a little bit of a wild card to a certain extent. Like
all those are true, by the way. Totally
fair. But you know how much restraint he shows in his shot selection?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, especially after he gets hot, because I'm seeing him drive a couple times, and I was like, I would have shot that. Like he'll get like 4 to 14 feet and have a step, and I'm like, oh, I'd have shot that. And he kicks it out, resets the whole thing. You know how incredible that is for a guy of Frager's ability and his demeanor.
I apologize for jumping. Yeah, it's incredible. You know what I want to ask him? I want to ask him again, just because I'm much more of a fan of his than he is of me, but he's the type of person I cheer for. There was a stretch at Ohio State. This is really kind of innocuous, and it's not, nobody's going to remember. But they got a steal, and the outlet went to Frager. And I was like, no, like, not now. It's like, not now. He turned it over.
Yeah.
Like bang, bang, turned it over. In that same last minute and 40-second sequence, he got the and one. He had the catch and shoot. And I'm like, once upon a time, that turnover when they had momentum and had a chance to have a play would have
eaten him,
would have affected the last 2 minutes of that game. And it didn't. But I was like, my dumb butt would just pull him to the side and be like, hey, man, like, do you remember that, or am I overthinking it? Now, he would have clearly said, man, Ben, we're doing too much. Right? Because, but I always look for those moments where it's like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
He has turned the corner.
Yeah.
Because it would have compounded.
Yeah.
It would have compounded.
Yeah, it would have snowballed.
You know the stretch I'm talking about?
I do, yeah. I know it would have snowballed on him.
Yeah, and it did.
And it snowballs on a lot of guys.
And Caleb and I were watching it real time. And Caleb's giving me the play-by-play, and he's like, man, once upon a time. He's like, man, he's either got to be a catch and shoot or get downhill. Like, don't give
him too many options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're just watching this This kind of same with Price.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious. They have a couple of X factors too, because I mean, we're acting like Mast wasn't even. He was like not even quarter Mast last night. It didn't matter.
Yeah, they just blew him out of the water.
I get it. I'm a huge press conference honk. Did you hear Altman's press conference?
Part of it, not all of it. Which part?
I mean, you sound like a guy that lost his dog. He's like this.
Oh yeah, he seems shook.
Absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah, he seems shook.
What happened to us tonight?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what is going on now? We're a team, because this is what we do when we want to be negative or hold people. I use the word melodramatic on social media this morning because I can't stand it. Like everybody. Like we're so quick to want to have everybody see it through a certain like our prism versus it could be like this or it could be like that, because whatever. And I thought it was funny because you're watching this thing unfold, and with football or any other more not even popular. Let's just use football and keep it simple. It's, he's never done this. They've never done that. And this is a career this, and this has never happened here. And I always say, just imagine if you resign yourself to that.
Yeah.
Every day I say, what if you we don't beat top 25 teams. We haven't been good at 9. Do you want somebody to resign them? Oh man, DB, your glass this, and you don't see that, and your company. No, man, listen, it may not work.
Yeah,
it may not work. But you know one thing,
he's not going to resign himself to it.
You can't. You don't want to, and you don't want to cheer for people like that.
That's one of the things that bother me the most.
You don't want to cheer for people that think the way. If you're always going to tell me about the negative, you don't why do you want him miring in that?
No.
Is that even remotely he's got 160 people that need something.
Yeah.
Right. So it's can you, if Nebraska basketball had been we've never been good, never won a tournament game. What if they acted like that? We don't put that on this team.
No, we don't. This is the thing we were talking about yesterday, right?
I've been talking about it for 3 weeks because I'm not mortified. I'm miffed by it.
Yeah.
Now, people have done a good job of giving their version of why. But it's it's so freeing. This is what I think. You want me to land a goddamn plane?
Yeah.
From all the people, the basketball, because there's some just diehard fans for a long time. Excuse me. That sounded really gross. It's freeing, and they allow themselves to go there to talk about 20-0 or being undefeated unabashedly, they're having fun with it.
Yep.
Do you know why I think it is?
Why?
Zero
expectations.
You have nothing to compare it to.
Yep.
You have no success story to compare it to.
Yeah.
So you just ride with it.
Because everything's new and fun, and
that sounds an awful lot like
Indiana football.
Weird.
You've been saying this for 2 years.
Because I don't think people understand, so I had to wait
until we had an example that
for a practical analogy.
Yeah. You've been saying for 2 years
I had to wait.
How much easier it is to turn something around in Indiana when you do not have the weight of any expectation.
And we talk crazy. We're talking right now about Nebraska basketball. It's we've passed Gonzaga. They ain't win the big one either.
Yeah.
Right? But we're having fun and we're riding with it because we don't have any anchor or chain or ball and weight hold. I don't know.
There's no baggage.
They just allow themselves to be positive. And it's we'll never get back to – it doesn't have to.
Yeah.
For football. Just start with
better.
Just
start with a little better.
Just be better.
Just start with a little better.
It's fascinating to watch it unfold. Even baseball, to some degree, still gets tapped on the shoulder about early 2000s.
Oh, Dave Van Horn, Mike Anderson.
Do you know what I mean?
Shane Comine,
So it's
Java
like
Chamberlain,
basketball is just like
Alex Gordon.
it's fun. It's light. It's refreshing. And
Yeah.
I just want people to like capture how good that is. Like it can be like that.
Yeah. You basically just described.
It can be like that.
You basically just.
And that doesn't mean you can't criticize.
No. Absolutely not.
But you don't have to resign yourself to it.
And also, there's a difference when you're looking. There's a difference when you're looking for answers, right? When you're criticizing, looking for answers, when you're criticizing just to be critical, like those are two different things.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't. Maybe I'm giving myself too much credit here. I feel like I'm very critical of the football team when things aren't going well. Yeah. I feel like I'm very critical of the football. Like you get frustrated with me sometimes because of how critical I get. But at the end of the day, I want answers, not like in that. I know a lot of times I want my pound of flesh. When it comes to football games, I want answers. I don't want
listen, man,
validation.
You're not alone. I rock with guys that are pound of flesh guys.
But
so, I
want
everybody's different. I got one of those in my own household.
At the end of the day, I want answers.
Everybody's different.
And I want resolution because I want to feel this way about football the way I feel about basketball right now.
You can.
I know. That's why people make fun of me and it's fine, but that's why I picked 10-2. 10-2 was on the table. It was.
You're gonna keep.
You want answers?
You did. You did go through a tough stretch of getting crushed,
which is fine. But it was on the table.
You want me to admit something to you?
What's that?
I don't have the courage to pick a big number, and it's not because I don't believe they're capable of it. It's because I don't want the backlash of what happens if it doesn't happen.
I get it. I got crushed. I mean, I did.
So, I'm not mad at you over that.
People still
you have way bigger balls than I did.
People still throw it at me.
So I'll say, and it is what I think, right? I thought, 6 is the floor. I thought 9 was the ceiling. 6 is the floor. 9 is the
totally
ceiling.
Fair. That's a totally fair and reasonable take. I thought, I looked at the schedule and I go, listen, I understand that things have to, a lot of things have to go right. Right? I needed to be right about the defensive line and it didn't come together.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to be right about Butler and it didn't come together. I needed the offensive line to gel faster than it did. Didn't come together. Obviously, you needed health. That didn't work out either, right? So, I understand where it went wrong, but I also look at it and go, could have easily beat Michigan. Could have easily beat USC. And if you don't have your starting quarterback get hurt and you have to start a true freshman again, not that hard to get one of the last 3. I sit there and I go, that's on the table, but it's because I looked at it from a standpoint of what's possible to go right, not what's possible to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the place I like to live. I try to. Now, don't get me wrong. I get dragged down into the muck sometimes, but I try and live in the place of what's possible to the positive and not what could go wrong to the negative. I've lived too much of my life what could go wrong to the negative. What's up?
Tom Reed. The shade, the Vern Golf. You can bold that so Ravi can read it. I want you to know if you know who he's talking or she's talking about.
Just need DB to have a long walk with.
Nope, not walk.
A long talk with Lalo before the prediction show. We'll get that big number from it. Lalo is a type of tequila.
No, I'm not messing with her.
So Vern must know you a little bit.
Or he listens. Big Lalo guy. Big Lalo guy.
Oh, we got Drunk Monk in the chat. What's up, Drunk Monk?
Oh, he's back?
How we doing, Drunk Monk?
Where's he been?
Good morning, everyone.
On one, probably?
Probably, that's all right. Well, Drunk Monk, could be.
Those guys just binge drink in the basements, don't they? Or is that a stereotype of monks?
I don't know what
they come above ground. Why is it always? I always think dark.
I think the monasteries don't have a lot of windows, so I don't know if they're in the base.
Are you being a Richard?
No, I think they do seem dark most of the time.
Okay. Yeah, your delivery is confusing.
I know it's hard to tell. I also think that they do make beer. Like they invented beer.
Monks
invented beer.
I need a fact finder. Where's Kobe?
I'm almost positive. If they didn't invent it, they are very, very prominent in the beer making world.
Okay.
And
them and Anheuser-Busch. Was Anheuser a monk?
I don't know, but
there's Kenny Bush, Billy Bush, Tim Bush.
Bush came later. They combined. Anheuser was
Mark Anheuser?
Maybe.
It wouldn't have been Mark back then. It would have been like Thaddeus or.
I think Anheuser is a pretty German name, so might be. I don't know what like German first names are.
Boris Anheuser. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I was thinking more Adolf, but that was a very common German name. Is the first name of the guy that started Adidas.
Well, and he started Coors.
Oh, that's right, Adolf Coors.
Adolf Coors.
That's right. See, beer making lineage.
Oh, don't tap me. Give your boy a high five for bailing you out.
Good job, Shane.
You finally know something over there, little face.
Good. Okay, just ignore me. That's fine.
You're not. He doesn't know how to take you. You haven't been kind long enough. He looked at you like.
Surprise, surprise.
Exactly.
I'm always nice to Shane. Always nice to Shane.
Hey, do you like my heads?
Yeah, we got Herbie.
Yep.
And then who's is that Corey? No,
wow, all black people do not look alike. I'll give you another crack at it.
I don't know who that is. Is that Lonnie?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let me bring up Corey Brown.
Wow.
Let me bring up Corey Brown. Well,
I haven't seen anything official. Have you seen anything official?
I haven't, but let me just bring him up because like I'm not like super far off.
Yeah, yes, you are. They don't look that. Knock it off. See, that's why we can't have nice things.
It's not a good miss on my part.
No,
it's not a good miss. I'll just say that. Not a good miss on my part.
It's not. And where's Amazing Daniel when I need him? He said, "Is that Corey?" No, that is LT.
Asian Wyatt said they did not invent beer, but they specialized in it. Okay.
Dang, I've missed the monk. Where have you been, man? Have you been gallivanting with those other people?
We've had an influx this week.
Knock it off.
What? A lot of people have mentioned it. What do you want me to do?
I just need you to grow up.
They're in the chat. What, I'm supposed to not pay attention to what the people say in the chat?
Who are all these people?
Mars Alamo. Cheers to beer. Cheers to you, Mars Alamo.
You barely drink beer.
Yeah, I don't drink a lot of beer. I used to drink a ton of beer.
Did you?
Yeah, I used to try out all, like I was very, I don't want to say connoisseur, but like I would try all the different kinds, and I'd try specialty beers and stuff like that.
Look at Joe Good.
Working hard?
No.
What about Mexicans?
Yeah.
Wow, I said something that probably would have been bad there. I love it.
It's funny. Like, I just try to fast forward through the first hour because every day I think we're like milliseconds away from getting shut down.
But
they can't really do that. We're not terrestrial radio.
Listen, here's where I always find comfort, right? You remember the meeting we had with Bill when we decided to go all digital?
Yeah.
And he's like, he showed us a clip from Howard Stern.
Yeah.
And I was like,
he's like, hey, go study. And I was like,
bet, I got you.
Now he cringes. No, Barry. I don't smoke.
Jose Bueno says, no, we love this kind of stuff.
Barry. Don't read it out loud. Don't Ron Burgundy. Like, why would you ask me that?
Yeah.
That's not my, contrary to stereotypes, that's not my.
No, I don't have any. I don't have any,
my jam.
Jose Bueno, I don't have any problem with Mexicans. Mexicans are cool. Those are my guys.
So I can say I love those guys, and it's not like I'm not using the demonstrative.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're big fans.
Two of my neighbors. Although one doesn't talk to me. I don't think he rocks with me at all.
Not Lupe. You love Lupe.
No, Lupe's my dude.
That's your guy. And you weren't sure if he was Hispanic or not.
Lupe's the type of guy I would put at the head of my security detail.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, or maybe, no, well, he and Scott could share. Scott looks like he should be at the head
of
my
yeah, I've met Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him at the CWS. He looks like he could.
Very businessy.
I feel like he could get after it. He seemed like if I was on the wrong side of things, I wouldn't want to see him.
My offensive line coach, our offensive line coach,
Brett?
sent me a picture of him at the shooting range. And I was like,
of himself or of Scott?
The targets that he was hitting.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I was like, we good? I need context.
Was he shooting at you?
He's just his target. There was 200 holes in that.
Oh,
thing.
okay. I thought you were saying he was doing.
And
like-
he looks like the type of dude that would be strapped.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, can I get some context? Did you just felt like releasing some steam?
He stays on business.
Yeah, I guess. I'm happy. We're gonna take a quick break because
EJ says it was Augustus Bush. I think that's right. Augustus.
I need somebody smarter than me, which is 90% of the people we're talking.
What
to.
was Anheuser's first name?
Wait, Shane, what's your guy? What was Timmy Core's first name?
Adolf Course.
That's right, though, right?
It is. I believe that's right. Yeah.
He's not.
He's going back to me.
Giving me a
making up
hard
names
time for Adolf.
Oh, what was his name?
Adolf Course. Anheuser?
Yeah. What?
I don't know what his first name.
What did?
No, that was Augustus Bush. That was the other guy. Because we were talking about Anheuser-Busch. I couldn't remember what Anheuser's first name was.
So Anheuser is somebody's last name.
I believe so. Yeah.
Shane, do you have thoughts on that?
It sounds familiar.
You keep a lot of thoughts.
No, Max, that was not me playing basketball last night.
Nah, he just said tennis. Would you have been cool?
I wasn't playing tennis last night either. I was just watching.
I know you were hitting the doubleheader.
I was just watching ball.
Okay, I want you to be honest too.
Okay.
At what point, or did you ever switch over the volume of your multi-view?
I went back and forth a couple times.
Did it depend on the score?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was on Nebraska early.
You know Daniel knows. If anybody knows liquor, it's that dude.
Jason says Eberhard Anheuser. I don't know. Maybe that's right.
I'm going to probably rock with Jason.
He probably knows.
If it's him, Todd.
He probably knows.
Yeah. That's kind of their personality.
Well, okay. Steve also said Eberhard Anheuser. So I think we're right. Eberhard. I told you it wasn't a normal name.
Dang, we got a Steve now too?
Yes. You know Steve O'Donnell.
Oh,
Your Bruins guy.
Bruins Steve.
Yeah, Bruins Steve.
Oh, we got to be. So, okay.
His father-in-law was Adolphus Bush.
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Because he does all those screen grabs.
Yeah. He does all the shots.
So if you find me just sitting like this.
It's because you don't want to give him anything?
Yeah. I don't know how he does it. And some are horrible. So this is what I want to do the whole time.
Just cross your arms?
He has one from yesterday where I was flabbergasted by
The
something.
one where you were going like this?
Let's not.
Okay.
Let's just.
I was just trying to make sure I knew which
just
one you were
keep it
talking
moving.
about. Go like this.
And I'm like, how?
Zach's right. I was on the Twitter grind last night. I was fighting with people on the internet.
Why?
I don't know if I was fighting with people. I was being a little snarky. Well, I brought up Andrew Marshall earlier.
Yes.
I thought it was very classy of him to put out a thank you, and he's not even leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really nice of him. I thought it was a really good gesture. And it just was kind of I mentioned I thought it was a really classy gesture to write a note and to stay at the University of Nebraska. I didn't know.
Do you know who's rocking with you on that? And I am shocked.
Who?
Severe.
Yeah, because it's such a stupid miss. It's such a dumb miss.
I don't know if you know this.
Yeah. You don't like the word stupid.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. Like,
I don't know.
You're a grown up. Hey, do you want to? I didn't put the quarter in. There is no slot arm.
Oh.
Not trying to get you started. You could,
it's a dumb miss. It's a stupid thing to miss on.
Okay.
It's, this is a super
shade.
This is
anything we can play to keep him. From
no,
talking?
you might appreciate this. Maybe, probably not. I was going to talk about church for a second though, so you might like it.
Is it Augusta?
Kel Jam says Dane Key thanked both Nebraska and Kentucky. Yeah, classy guy.
I told you slapped my wrist for riding with.
No, I like Kel Jam, but he's a wild card.
Totally,
yeah.
But you need that.
Yeah, no, I like it. He provides.
You're like good piece of cheese. Good piece of cheese.
He provides good content to the show.
Oh man, I rock with him.
This is what it reminds me of. So back when I was in school to become a preacher.
Back in the day,
it's a very long time ago.
Preacher Lulla has a very poopy ring to it.
I think I would have gone by Pastor Lulla, but whatever.
That sounds like
better.
a drink. Pastor Lulla? Hey, would you like the little Pastor Lulla? Hey, can you pass me the Pastor Lulla?
What's in Pastor Lulla? Like what is that drink?
I don't know, like adobo chili. tequila.
Sorry, we're both sick today.
I'm not sick anymore.
I know you got the cough a little bit. I don't know. I feel great.
No, that was a new drink. You didn't hear
Oh,
that? It's called Flemme Lambrusco.
oh, I thought it was called Pastor Lulla. No, so when I was in school to become a pastor, there's all these theological debates about like, is baptism necessary for salvation? Is like all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like all the different denominations have their own interpretations of like, okay, is infant baptism a thing that counts? Does it not count? Do you have to be an adult?
Saying, go back to Joe Good's comment. Keep going. Babe.
All this stuff, right? So that's what
not that one, the previous.
I remember as like an 18-year-old, I was like, this is stupid. It's the easiest thing to do. Why are we having a debate about this?
So you haven't said this, but you've said it to me off air.
Yeah.
Is this one of the things that bugs you, that what Joe Bueno just said?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Again, not putting in the quarter, you will go hard on that off air.
Absolutely.
And like,
it's one of the things that I was super mad about Scott Frost about, because 25 years later, he's still traumatized. He called himself the most hated man in the state in 1997. Stupid. That's incredibly dumb. It's 20 years later, man. Like, you're an adult. Get over it. Like, get over it.
So, Shane, do you remember I met him out? I saw him at 72 Table and Tap. Do you remember my Wisconsin guy that I really liked, Kyle?
Oh, yeah, Kyle.
He was tough, but like he was
Yeah,
fair. Like I was like, oh, I'd hang out with that guy. But he's a Badger fan.
Mhm.
So Apostrophe L was intimating the same thing you were.
Mhm.
And you got to go back and look at the exchange. Now, Severe didn't get in the weeds.
Mhm.
Like, he kind of just let Kyle do his thing.
Yeah.
But Kyle was making the case. Why would somebody do that when he probably feels like, and this is I shouldn't have even asked you. Can we just keep this brief?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, we've only got like 5 minutes before I get to BC, so it has to be pretty brief.
He was like, hey, you guys, the fan base vilified him the first chance they got, right? He went into the UCLA thing, the Latif thing, and he goes, why would he turn around and do X, Y, and Z? And light-skinned dude was like, oh, it was only like the vocal minority.
Mhm.
And like Kyle just wasn't having any of it. And I thought it was interesting because even though Kyle's a Badgers fan, he's here,
Mhm.
right? He's dab smack in the middle of Omaha. He does listen to talk radio. I think he's objective.
Mhm.
But that was his vantage point on why you didn't get what you're clamoring for.
Yeah, it's not accurate at all.
Okay, listen.
Here's where I'll push back. Right?
Yeah, I'll show you the text thread. Or tweet thread.
I don't believe that that's accurate. Yes, Nebraska fans did turn on Dylan, but it wasn't the first opportunity. You know how many times Nebraska defended Dylan over the course of the first 2 years of him being here?
I got no qualms.
When people are talking about like, oh, the Mahomes thing is weird. I'm like, hey, chill out, right? When nationally people are
I explained the idol and the childhood thing. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
We sat here and defended that dude at every single opportunity. Now, at one point, the dam broke. That's accurate.
If I could have done the hair and the comb over, nobody was going to be Terry Bradshaw like me.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
It's a little funny. I didn't think you were going to go Terry Bradshaw there.
That was the first person I emulated.
My thought was, because you brought him yesterday, I thought Roger Craig. Roger Craig was your guy.
Yeah, I was a quarterback, so that high knee thing didn't.
Gotcha. Totally fair.
I didn't even know how to run like that.
Yeah.
Dude, I was slew foot. I look like I'm shoveling snow with the inside of my arches. I can't run like Craig.
No, but you bring up a good point. Like we imitate our idols,
Yeah.
right? And so I would argue that for 2 years.
And in his defense,
Mhm.
people hammer Kobe for copying Jordan.
I don't, but yes, a lot of people do. And then how many times do you hear Nebraska fans defend the high school things with Dylan? Constantly.
A ton.
Constantly. We're like, hey, it was this, and this. There are reasonable explanations for all of them. And the decommitments. Hey, this is what happened. There's reasonable explanations for all this. So don't tell me the first time we had an opportunity to turn on him, we didn't. Right? Because that's not accurate. There was a point where the dam broke. That's true.
I'm consistent, and it's not because Dom is my boy. I'm not a huge fan of hammering on student athletes.
Yeah.
I didn't hammer Iamaliava.
Yeah.
I just, it's just not in my nature. I'm a chump. Man.
I understand that.
I'm not controversial.
That's fine. If I see something, my line is high school athletes. I'm not going to hammer on high school athletes.
College is fair game, man. You get paid.
Listen, it's not about the getting paid or not. It's about this is where you have to learn things about life.
Would you like a little insight into like late breaking stuff and thank yous and It's no coincidence. This is a little inside baseball. It's no coincidence in the last week, Pat Stewart has had all the meetings. Just gonna give you that little chicken nugget.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just about finished with all their meetings.
All the exit interviews?
And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, exit interviews is just a general
So
term.
there you go.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering about timing of some things.
No, it makes sense. I also think, I mean, listen, it's not
wishing you well, Keona.
It is not about
because it is now official.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I saw it yesterday. Listen, that was my guy. I'm a little bummed, but it is what it is.
I rock with you, Kim.
What does Kim say? I backed Dylan in any conversation until he decided to trade out. Our O-line was part of Dylan's problem. I turned after his speech on Rule, and then he did what he did. Yeah, I mean, totally fair.
I got no problems.
And listen, I feel like for most of the last 2 years, nobody defended Dylan more than I did.
Oh, yeah.
But there is a point where the judgment the judgment is lacking.
Now, this is interesting.
And I'm also
Headley usually has jokes.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Idolizing is different than
cosplaying.
Okay. I don't know how to take him.
It's a fair point.
It's not cosplay, though.
I really wish he would have got a haircut at some point.
He did now. And I told you he was doing that.
That's fine.
Pre-injury.
I'm just saying,
I said, he's not going to go into locker rooms like that anymore.
That's good. That shows a little bit of growth there, I think.
I can't.
That don't necessarily.
What if BC just says, you know what, guys? I don't want to come on anymore.
Don't necessarily have to wear 15. That's not. I told you this before the season.
I'm not. Listen.
I told you this before the season.
I'm not listening to you.
For his own sake, I wanted him to get one of the single digits. Ow! Don't do that. I wanted him to get one of the.
You're hairy.
I know.
It's freaking mildly disgusting.
It's my Indian side.
Your mom must be a trooper.
Headley does bring up a good point. Like some of the warm-up stuff is sort of where it got weird.
Okay.
Like the emulating of the warm-up stuff, I think is where
it's fine. Shut up, Austin.
Just shave your head. Just shave your head, man. Not that hard.
Can context help?
Nope. There wasn't a lot of context on that one.
Well, I slapped your wrist.
Well, yeah, but really more a forearm. Wrist was kind of. You don't want to hit the watch that you like. You just didn't want to.
Yeah.
I'm
glad you let me try it on.
Yeah. I can show you where
I had a partner once that had a really nice watch, and I asked him to wear it, and he said, "Stop asking grown-ups for their stuff."
I can show you where I got it. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. He's here.
Who we got?
Kobe.
Yeah, he was here early.
I was talking to Jessica about him yesterday. I'm afraid to listen to Rod Wave now. I won't even play it.
It's all in your feels music. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla. We'll be back with Brian Christopherson from Husker 24/7 coming up next.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for us was competing with them on the glass. That's a top 25 offensive rebounding team, and we held them to 0 in the first half. And I told the guys in the locker room, it's the power of finishing a half the right way and getting the momentum. I give Oregon a lot of credit for the way they came out, and it was, if I'm not mistaken, 28-28 with about 3 minutes to go, and then we end up with a double-digit lead going into halftime. And then I was really proud of how the guys responded coming out and throwing the first punch, and then really keeping our foot on the gas for the entire 20 minutes in the second. And, listen, the travel that Oregon has had this last week is crazy, to play west or on the East Coast and then fly back for one game and then come back to, I give these guys a lot of credit for the way that they came out of the gate. And, Dana's one of the ever do it. And they're gonna figure it out and hopefully be home and get some rest. But I'm proud of our guys. They really did. We talked about that before the game. If we win the glass, we're gonna have a really good chance to win the game, and that's what happened.
Oh, it helps. Yeah, it helps a bunch. Any extra time that you can get, especially with the guys, kind of getting acclimated coming back from winter break to just get in the flow of things, it makes a world of a difference, especially stepping into that first series in Arizona. It's been great, like Nebraska will always hold a special place in my heart. My grandparents live in Omaha. I have relatives all over the state, so getting to come back and, be close to them and be close to family, it means the world to me. I would say, like, one of the strengths is, like, the culture. I've been a part of some really good baseball teams, but I've never been a part of a group this tightly knit, and getting to experience what that is and what it means to be a Husker, it's been tremendous.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live. Here is Husker 24/7 senior writer, Brian Christopherson.
Yeah, you got guys that walking into Ace Hardware without their shirts on.
Brian Christopherson.
We got a pretty good sewing circle in this state.
Brian Christopherson.
To me, it's like crunch time, baby.
Here is Brian Christopherson.
Welcome back. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Brian Christopherson from Husker 24/7. BC, what's going on, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Be sizzle. Now, be honest. Just keep it real with me.
Okay.
Does this right here not remind you of Terry Bradshaw? Don't you just see a lot of Terry Bradshaw in what are you laughing at? Can you just let him answer the question?
Well, I mean, Terry's a lot older than you.
In your defense, Damon, there probably weren't a lot of quarterbacks in that era that looked exactly like you, right?
Correct. Thank you. That's some levity I needed an out.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, I had the crazy hair.
Did Terry Bradshaw like have a comb over like back then even? Like
yeah, and every time he took off his helmet, I was like, ooh, you don't have long. You don't have long at all. And
you want it.
And lo and behold, he does. He's one of those guys too, BC. I did try to do everything like him. But at least after a while, the first couple of years, my mom and my dad can't vouch now, but my mom can vouch for this, BC. I went from being in love with Terry Bradshaw to wanting to be Turner Gill. So the 12 thing worked. and I got a little closer looks-wise. So shout out me.
You know who I wanted to be from your Husker teams when I was a kid? Could you guess? Take one guess. He captured the imagination of many a kid in the state for a particular play in a primetime game.
Oh, that is a toughie. I will go with offense or defense?
Defense, but special teams is why.
Mike Foreman.
No, that's good. Baron Miles, the Red Baron.
I said Baron because he was, but I was going to make a joke because he's little.
Well, I mean, that was part of it. Like he could defend receivers 6 inches taller than him. And
can I? You want to know you want a tidbit about Baron Miles?
Yes.
Until he got eligible, because he came in as Prop 48, and this is no exaggeration. Until he graduated, to a man or to a coach, you will get a consensus. He was the first one on the field, and he was the last one off. It had to be intentional. This dude we would be in there getting taped, acting stupid, telling jokes, fighting, throwing water, whatever. This dude would be taped, take his helmet out, and walk out there by himself to get warmed up. He would be out there before the ball boys even set up the bags.
Yeah.
It's no coincidence that dude had a long career. He first one there, last one to leave. That dude would turn on and off the lights.
And the play I'm obviously talking about for people who are younger was
the deflection down the sidelines.
Well, no, Thursday night, Oklahoma State, the block punt where he took it off the kid's foot. Me and my friend would go out and try to replicate that play.
I reenacted Coach Osborne at halftime on this show, so it had nothing to do with anything. But last week, about his halftime speech when I said "sand in your craw."
Oh yeah.
That was Oklahoma State at Stillwater. He hit So do you remember those old, huge dry erase boards that you could flip around and use the other side? He hit that thing so hard it did kind of like a half turn. He's like, "Dad gummit," and that was the sand in the and that was the block punt. That was the block punt.
You guys were playing like dog crap for the first half in that game. You were behind, if I remember right. To Tony Jones was the opposing quarterback.
I'm just going to tell you, that thing was a recipe for disaster. We almost died landing, so we're just fortunate to be at the game. I felt like the nose of the plane touched the cement landing that year in Stillwater.
Wow.
The absolute shortest runway in the continental U.S. was in Stillwater.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to make it go sideways with that question to you, but so I like Baron Miles. You like Terry Bradshaw. Same thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. What's funny? I don't like him anymore.
Terry Bradshaw? As a quarterback or as an analyst or both?
So it started, Shane, as we can remember, as a quarterback. We got into these arguments about guys that are misremembered because they won a ton. And Stabler was one.
Sure.
And then I got into Terry Bradshaw. Those guys threw so many interceptions.
I don't know what to do with that, though.
I know, because you could grab and touch.
And just stylistically what passing was.
Yeah, you threw it 50 yards, you didn't throw it at all.
One of the things
you were Green Bay.
One of the things that really makes me mad, and it's not just because he's a Miller North guy, but people on TikTok will go back and be like, 2001 was the worst Heisman season of all time. And it's they go and they point, it's he had 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, only threw for 1,000 yards. It's if you watch that team, nobody was more valuable to their team in the country than Eric Crouch, right? And so, I don't know what to do with, because I've said the same thing, Terry Bradshaw's overrated, look at the numbers, whatever, but I don't know what to do with the context of what football was at the time. It's such a hard thing. Maybe he was the very best there was in the 70s, and that's just what the game was. I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
There's not a question in there, BC.
No, by the way, the 01 Heisman, even the 62-36 game, go watch Eric Crouch in that game. He's running up and down the field.
Go watch him against Miami.
Yeah.
He's the only person that looked like he belonged on that field against Miami.
Yeah. I do remember one time
that included Keough Craver.
Yeah.
And I thought For my money, like Craver is one of those guys I think it's misremembered. Keo Craver during his stretch was the best for a young guy.
Yeah,
was the best athlete that I had seen on campus.
Yeah.
Keo Craver was an amazing athlete.
He won't remember this, but I had sociology class with him. We were actually partners.
Guy.
I think we got a pretty good grade on a presentation that was aided, I would say, by the fact that Keo Craver was in our group. That helped us on that case.
I mean, listen, there's worse things in the world.
Yeah,
right?
He also had one of the biggest hits I've ever seen against Texas A&M when they shut him out, and that it was 1999. That defense, of course, was awesome. And go YouTube that game, like second, third quarter. Craver has one of the best hits that's ever been like replayed on the Husker Vision screen. Like the whole crowd's like, oh, just like on.
What was the crowd like, BC?
No. I already did it. I give one a week, and that was it.
The crowd was like,
Yeah.
All right, Shane, lock it up. All right, B, so how are we feeling, man? It's gonna be a little quiet here for the next couple of days, I think.
Got a little dead period, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Outside of coaching rumors, and you can address that if you'd like. How are you feeling about Nebraska's sitch currently?
Like I really like what they've done. Like O-line, especially yesterday, with the addition of Mbinga, that feels really good to me. Just how they've elevated that competition. I think there should be some excitement about the fact you had Jeep Wade and Lonnie Teasley come in, and Matt Rule set off the get-go like, hey, Jeep can get after it recruiting now, and obviously Lonnie can too. And I understand money's at play in some of these decisions, of course, but you probably don't get that one to home base that they got yesterday if you don't have sort of an appealing salesman or recruiter, whatever you want to say, in Jeep Wade and Lonnie Teasley. So I think initially you have to be impressed with what Jeep has done to add to that competition. So I like O-line. I thought they came out of QB as well as they possibly could have in the situation. I really do. Like, you know, everything that went down that one Monday night, and within 24 hours, you have Calandria, who, if nothing else, I think there's just going to be a lot of excitement around like sort of him as a playmaker and what he can do, but also to have Danny Kalen come back home. And at this moment, you sit with those 3 scholarship QBs. I could have not foreseen them coming out of the with that clean of a look in their room. A lot of schools wouldn't have that look in their room right now, or don't have that look. So that's good. And then I like linebacker a lot. I think I've said it on the show before, but I that's a position we talked about it a week or two ago. Probably was under the radar because the defensive line took all the arrows, but linebackers got to go up like 3 notches. And, you know, Chambliss, Foster, Hawthorne's a guy I know you like, you know, as a young guy that you can build. So those 3 spots.
And I'm biased because I saw him in person, and he was like, he had one arm, and he killed that whole camp, literally.
So those 3 spots I feel really good about. D-line, I don't know yet, but I've always thought like there's sort of that hope and that prayer, like, okay, you do it Texas Tech style, you nail these sort of 2 or 3 guys that just change everything on a dime, and that's nice. And maybe they got a couple of those guys, I don't know, but as much as anything, and I thought this before the portal open, whether people like it or not, it's going to come down to development of those guys who are over there right now, and them taking a big step in 2026. And I was just going through the tape of Riley Van Poppel, like after the bowl game, and the post game room was going to write something up on that I've kind of been holding on to.
Did you watch him in Utah against Utah?
Yeah, a little. I mean, I wouldn't say I was the expert on how he played in that game. What do you think?
No, I liked him. Okay, there's 2 things. I'm going to compliment Brian Christopherson. Number one, you said I'm not the expert, which I can appreciate, because a lot of times we make these sweeping generalizations about, oh, did you see this? And a lot of times we don't know what we're talking about, especially with D linemen, because it takes time. So I do appreciate that. The other thing is, because I thought that So I could see where his development is going to start to come. And I'm pretty patient with D-line because I've seen people take huge jumps. And that's one of the positions I think you have to be patient with. So that's a set aside. I'm going to go back to something you said about the offensive line and the additions. And you said something seamlessly, and I just want to know why. You said, I like some of the additions with this person, that person, and what that means for the competition and the development. You didn't slate anybody or pencil them in as starters and I thought that was interesting because what we've done so far is we've used getting depth in the portal to bitch about development of our current offensive linemen, right? It's like one of the few fan bases in America that turns a positive into a negative so seamlessly about what's going on in the interior. But you're not willing to concede that those guys are coming in to necessarily start. Is that putting words in your mouth?
No, that's exactly what I mean. They very well could. And Brendan Black, for instance, has 2,100 snaps to his name, played in a good offense at Iowa State. You'd sort of think like maybe he has the upper hand just off of experience and stuff like that. But no, I do not want to shortchange the development discussion in that room, especially when I've heard Jeep Wade talk in his few interviews locally about how you really do have to build that thing up organically. So I think they're getting, some guys that can help foster competition, hopefully elevate guys around them. And obviously you've seen a guy or two leave in that room. So I think they've probably had some true talks with some guys, like maybe you're not quite at this level yet or whatever. Houston Torres obviously might be his own example. I think he ended up at Michigan. So that turned out pretty well for him, at least as an opportunity. But I don't want to count out the guys that are like third, fourth year guys now at a position that's usually when it pops for them. So you don't want to dismiss that. A Bricks, a Sledge, whomever.
Why do you think we're so comfortable when almost none of us understand O-line play? Why do you think we're so casual in making those indictments?
Well, I'll say this in defense of some of those indictments. I think the frustration last year, Damon, was that like when they had a few injuries sort of pile up, there was kind of that hope. And I admit I'm in this crowd. I've said it out loud, so I'll own it, that like you kind of wanted that name. You wanted that guy who was like that, one of those third year type guys to be like, okay, he's going in this week and we're about to see what he's about. Like there was sort of, I think I kind of had that hope there might be somebody you thought was at that point. Now that doesn't mean that those guys aren't close or couldn't turn that final corner here in 26. And a guy who might have been in the running when those injuries happened, based off the comments preseason last year, was actually Gibson Pyle. Because I say that because peers were always his teammates were always talking about him, like he's coming up. And so I think that injury was unfortunate for him because he was a guy that I thought could be interesting there. But I mean, this is a big year for a lot of them, and both D-line and O-line. I do go back to you don't want to use him as just the one example because he's a special example. But Ty Robinson, I always think of this like fans and media like 3 or 4 years into his career would have said he hasn't done it yet. Like he hasn't gotten done what he was supposed to do. That would have been the honest take on him probably until like the last year and a half of his career, which is like a 5th and 6th season of being in college football. That's not a knock on Ty. That was just the way the progress went. And so I always keep that in the back of my mind whenever talking about the trenches. There are definitely guys like that. And Nebraska's going to need a few of them to kind of have that that pathway start to develop here in 26. And they've got new coaching and new eyes on them. And that should excite them about the possibilities there.
If I'm coming to you, and I am, I need some help. I need somebody to come to my defense. And so I say, Brian, how would you help me make sense of, let's just say I don't have an opinion one way or another on offensive line development. But I would say to you, I'd give you just the facts. I'd say 3.5 starters got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska was tops in the league in rushing the football. They had an All-America running back that we didn't think was going to be that good when the season started. How can you help me rationalize offensive line development?
Yeah.
Can it still not be good?
Yeah. Well,
second year in a row, by the way.
I think what happened, to your point, Damon, like actually they pushed around Iowa running the ball in that game for a large portion of it. But I think you go back to like early mid-October and sort of that game, that Friday night game in Minnesota dictated the conversation about so many things. And it especially did with the O-line, quarterback, everything about it. That game just turned it. And there's merit to why it did. I mean, that was one of those games against a team you got to get over the top of, and Nebraska, let's just say it, they laid an egg on that one. I mean, it was an embarrassing kind of performance, and I think that kind of stuck with that O-line group. And then that's connected probably to what I was saying is that whether it's fair or not, I think the public perception is when some of those injuries happen, there was that hope that the next guy in line was one of those like second or third year guys that was going to pop in. And this is not to
So if it wasn't them, then who was it?
I don't know. Well, I mean, Tyler Knack came in and we don't just push him to the side. So I understand your point's well taken. I'm just trying to give the other side of why I think that, the narrative built up about the O-line, and it really goes to that Friday night in Minneapolis, I think.
Yeah. I guess I'm not going to die on a hill. I'm just trying to have a rational conversation.
Yeah.
It's like, how'd we get here then?
Yeah.
I mean, how'd we get here?
Well, I think the thing that's, for the people who want to be optimistic, and I like to take that frame of mind about the program. I think there's juice over there with Jeep and Lonnie right now. I think Jeep Wade's that kind of coach who, I said he's shown to be a good recruiter. I mean, he developed some good O-lines at Georgia Tech, and based off the early feedback from a couple of the interviews we did with the O-linemen, I think they made a really strong impression. So that's my positioning right now. It's like all that stuff, whatever happened. But I think you got to have an open mind about what Jeep can try to get done with that group. You got to have an open mind about what Rob Orich can bring to a defense, and how simple, fast, violent, I know, is the mantra, and like how they can build that up within guys, and what it can look like. He did turn around a couple defenses where he's been. I know there's going to be questions about whether he can do it in this conference against this schedule. All that stuff is going to go with it. But I have a very open mind about all those guys and giving them a chance to do their work now.
BC, as we kind of flip to the other side of the line and the defensive line transfer portal additions, and I'm going to include Andy Burburia in that one as well, even though it's JUCO, whatever, same. I don't know. I'm counting it.
His coach sure likes him. Both of them.
Is there, it seems like we look at the offensive line and we go like, oh, well, he's a man eater, and that's a mauler and whatever. I don't get the sense that we feel that way about some of the defensive line recruits. How have you processed the guys that they've brought in over the last couple of weeks?
I think there's a lot of excitement about Burburia and just, his production level, and obviously with what Coach Terry did with him at Iowa Western, and just the track record Coach Terry's had too with those guys. He's sent a lot of guys who have had success not only at the college level, but into the pros. And so I think there's real hope that he's the next one, because I do think the thought out of Iowa Western is he's one of the better ones they've had. And now he gets his crack at Nebraska. I think Whittington was a good pickup from Pitt. He doesn't have the resume yet, but he's another guy, third-year sophomore who was starting by the end of the season for Pitt, and I just think was probably a guy that a lot of people were interested in, probably more so than people realize, and that was a nice win for Nebraska. Like, he wouldn't have been on the top of some of the portal lists you'd see, but that's just because he's not to that point in his career yet. And now you hope you have a guy Lincoln, your new D-line coach, and obviously Roy Manning working with the edges, they can get the most out of him. But he's definitely got a lot. He's a ball of clay to work with, I think, that coaches are probably pretty excited about.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the message from somebody that's in the know. I want to read it verbatim because sometimes I think when we look at something optimistically, it's like, there's kind of this eye roll, like, well, of course you think it's a good pickup or whatever, right? Because it's, for some reason, optimism is not viewed in the same vein as pessimism. One typically is easier to validate for whatever the reason. But he said, a guy that's in the know, he said, he goes, hey, he was on the same visit that we were. Highly regarded. You actually could have something if it breaks right. Should be exciting to watch develop. And listen, he doesn't have any skin in the game. He just talking about a particular player. I wouldn't necessarily call him a Nebraska fan. So I think leaving myself or yourself or whomever open to the fact it could be a positive is okay, right?
Yeah, and I mean, so to win the portal game in this day and age, sure, there's cases where you could spend big on a certain one that you think is going to definitely hit for you, but the key above all is going to be being one step ahead in evaluating and seeing what someone is maybe a step down the road. That's what everybody's trying to do. That's why Pat Stewart is here. That's why they've got an evaluation team that's been working at it for months, is sort of building up a database of guys that I'm sure there's guys who it's like they've produced at a certain level, but then there's another category of maybe they don't have as many snaps to their name yet, but you can see it on film. There's a lot to like that you want to coach. And there's going to have to be some cases like that, not just this cycle, but every cycle where you nail it on those and you find the guy that is going to be something. And you saw it maybe a little bit before some others, but other people saw it in Whittington too. I don't want to act like he wasn't an interesting target to other programs. Like I think Pitt was disappointed to lose him. He was going to be a starter for that defense this year. And they've, I can't remember their numbers this year if they took a fall or not, but they've traditionally been pretty good on that side of the ball. So that says something. He's not a chop liver pickup by any means.
Yeah, I mean, BC, we kind of do this with a lot of guys, not just on the defensive line, but I even saw guys doing this with Mubenga as well from LSU, because they look up the PFF grades or whatever, and it's like, yeah, Alabama wanted this guy too. Like that was the direct competition.
Yeah,
for this
so
guy.
We did that with Spindler, and he had the exact same PFF grade as Lutovsky, and Spindler told you he got better than he did at Notre Dame.
And guess what? They were both good this year.
Don't let the facts cloud our judgment. Those are those guys saying that, BC. That's not me. That's not anything but what it is. Spindler and Lutovsky had almost the exact same PFF grade before Spindler got here. And Spindler will tell you he got better on Nebraska's watch. That's not made up. That's not propaganda. That's a quote.
Yeah, that's almost word for word.
No, I get you. I mean, knock on this table. They added 3 good guys to the competition, a couple who could start for sure. And at this moment, you have your senior center and your senior left tackle. And I don't mean to be ominous sounding with that. That's just the way I talk now in this day and age with the portal. You never know what's happening. But Pritchett at left tackle, I thought, to your point, Damon, earlier, you talk about a guy who developed at the end of the season.
We were about all out on him too, weren't we?
Yeah, I think it worked out in a weird way. Maybe not weird, perfect for Nebraska, the way his development timetable happened in this state of college football, where it didn't pop for him right away. And he saw sort of the fruits of his labor here in Lincoln at the very end. And it probably doubled down on the idea like, hey, let's run it back here. I've got something good going. And I know he has a connection with Coach Teasley as well that is useful, but let's not undersell how big a deal a couple of those guys are that they're in the fold right now. Like, I mean, that's big too, is winning your own roster sometimes, some of the guys, and making sure they're back in that uniform next year.
BC, real quick before we let you go, anything? Well, we got KENDEIGH coming up next.
Andy's good.
Okay, well, you don't have to go if you don't want to.
I'm just teasing.
What are you hearing, if anything, about all the Coach Eckler rumors about possibly leaving?
The stuff I've heard is from our USC guys that they were pushing for him yesterday. And beyond that, I don't know. Like, it's I mean, I guess I'd say this, like, duh. Like, he's the type of coach that is going to have, it doesn't surprise me if there's suitors for him. And within these deals, like, I would assume Nebraska works hard to keep coaches like that when people come after him. You know, Coach Barthel, I think, probably was a guy that was targeted by some people, you know, or looked at after this season. And, you know, he's still here. And so I think sometimes people don't realize, like, with probably half the staff, there's opportunities that rise up. You don't hear about them, like, in midstream, right? Like, so this is just a case where maybe there's something that's in front of someone as an opportunity, but we just happen to be in on it in the middle of the sentence, and it could play out just fine for Nebraska. I don't know yet, but got our eye on it like everybody else does. But I'm not going to act like I know something I don't, especially in those situations. You usually can't know a lot. It's just like it's what's going on in that coach's head, and you know, I also don't know, like, how serious the courting is from other sides too.
All right, I want last one from me. Nebraska hoops, and then there were 4.
Yes.
After Iowa State, and listen, I respect the heck out of Miami of Ohio.
That Iowa State game was weird.
But it was start to finish, though.
I know. It was weird.
But let me ask you something here, B. I was making kind of the comparison, and I had to be patient, about Nebraska basketball and having fun with it and projecting records and how far can they go with this undefeated streak. And there's no pressure, right? We're just living our best life, even though if it was a different sport, we would be afraid to extrapolate past the preseason or, you know, the non-con schedule, right? And I compared it to Indiana and expectations and not really having any because of the lack of historical success. You think that's a factor, or is it more we just don't know how to act as excited Nebraska basketball? Because the ride has been fun, and I enjoy thinking positive and what's possible doesn't bother me at all.
I'd have to think about that question a little bit. I do think it is a factor in football, like in football especially. I think it's beneficial to Indiana that they had the lack of history they did. And the reason I say that is if you take over a program like Nebraska in football, even if you're sort of have been scuffling a little bit like Nebraska has through recent years, you know, Damon, that the Huskers are still sort of one of those brand names that, like, you still get the attention of an opponent like you're like a top 15 team, maybe, because they see that as a pelt they can put on their wall. Like, hey, we beat Nebraska, this kind of historical program in football. And so you get everybody's best shot, even if you're not like a juggernaut at that time. I think especially in football, and Indiana maybe had the advantage, although I don't want to take anything away from what they're doing. But there is something to be said for where you don't get that every week from people the first year or two. Although that has definitely changed. So I think there's some of that. But I don't know with basketball as much because, you know, like, I think this team has gotten everybody's best shot. Like, I think Izzo came into PBA knowing, like, Fred's got something with this squad. We're going to be in for it for 40 minutes. And Nebraska came out victorious. And what's so impressive about last night is I thought they took Oregon's will in that game. It was like that run in the second half where there's a point where Cale Jacobson scored like 7 in a row. And the Ducks, like, didn't play defense on one of the possessions. Like, no one was guarding Cale, and he just, like, decided, I guess I'll shoot this 8-footer and bank it in because no one's on me. that was something to see, not just like Nebraska getting to 17-0, but them just breaking a team's mindset sort of in a game like that. And that it's fun to watch right now. It's one of the more fun stories I've covered since I've been covering Husker athletics. It really is.
It's interesting because Oregon came in turning the ball over a fair amount, but to watch some of those passes and what they did with the basketball, I was like, they'd much rather be someplace else. They couldn't even play catch.
I got no ill will toward Dana Altman at all. Wrote a big feature story about him when I was a young writer, and he was very kind to me. But boy, I'll tell you, it was like
that presser was
someone shot his dog type of deal. It was that type of feeling there. So yeah, that's what they've beaten two teams in this league by 30 plus points. You got to sometimes step back and be like, okay, that's something else. That, one thing to be 17-0, it's just a way they're sometimes taking apart teams. And even when they're not playing their best, or even if Rink Mast has foul trouble and scores 5 points, they did what they did last night.
Apparently that's no big deal.
Yeah.
That's no big deal.
5 points in 17 minutes?
No big deal.
You got Klay Thompson Jr. and Braden Frager out there. What do you need? I mean, come on.
All right, B, man. It's always a treat.
Yep. It's always fun being on with you guys. Thanks a lot.
Buddy.
That's Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7. Let's take a real quick break here, Shane, and then we will get to Andy
AK for Channel 7
from KETV coming up next. That's CBM Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Absolutely. It's almost 60 degrees on first day of practice, mid-January. Pretty fortunate to have this place out here. Our field's kind of still a little bit, the dirt's not quite ready yet, so be able to get out here, move around, see the ball in the air for the outfielders, and it's obviously a great day to get started. Yeah, I just think it's going to be new for everybody this year. Obviously, around the country, this rule's pretty uniform, so I think just it'll be new for us just in terms of figuring out, all right, how hard to push this early, just in terms of their legs. I mean, we've talked ad nauseum before everybody left about, hey, like, it's going to be a little different this year. We don't have 2 weeks to kind of ramp up before we really get going. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But I think from a pitching standpoint, I think it'll be great to have just our hands on them for a little bit longer, and hopefully what is a few more real live game type situations.
Yeah, as a
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
It was good. And when you have Andy on next week, Andy KENDEIGH,
Yeah.
You'll have to ask him about our little, okay, I'll share it. We'll go there. We're secure. We're men. He and I went halvies on a meal, and it was the smartest.
What?
We got shamed by everybody at our table.
Wait.
And I don't have any regrets about it.
Okay.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by the meal sharer himself, Andy KENDEIGH from KETV. What's up, AK? How we doing?
I've got zero regrets of being called out by Kevin Seuss. New Year's Eve in Vegas. It's all right. It's all good. It's all good.
Can I just say something, though? And I'm kind of a baby. We've eaten. I've probably eaten with you more than almost anybody in the media. Out.
Yeah. True.
At no point would you have thought to say, hey, the closest we got was maybe that place in Minnesota. And I think was it the cheese? It was something in the appetizer.
I mean, appetizers don't even count.
But that shouldn't count.
Yeah, you're supposed to share those.
Like you just were feeling pretty secure in the moment, or what were we doing, AK?
Thing. Like we were both feeling pizza or flatbread or whatever the hell they called it. we knew that we needed it. It was a 2-person job. The deal is, with these expense reports, you got to be strategic, and there's nothing more strategic than going on an expense report than having a pizza, right? I mean, it fills you up. It's pretty cheap, right?
Oh, man.
So Kevin and I looked at each other like, you want to split, go have these? We're like, absolutely. Happy New Year.
Good
there we go.
Good on you. Listen, because I already know how the alcohol on the expense reports goes. That had to be a separate deal, right? You only have so much capacity.
Absolutely. There's 2 credit cards, baby. 2 credit cards. And occasionally you bring your own. So that's what you do, especially after the game is over with. Like it's, finally time to exhale. And that was a night that, we finally got to enjoy Vegas. That was fun.
It was one of his funnier segments because Seuss gives zero cares, right? He's just he's living his best life. Yeah. I was in tears.
Well, yeah, that's a good one. You know what? And here's the thing: we've talked since then. He didn't even mention it.
Well, he knows we're a bunch of yahoos. He probably forgot about it. I wasn't gonna let you live it down.
Oh, of course not. That's good. That's a great deal, man. In fact, expense report just approved, so we're all good. We're in the clear. So it's all good.
And listen, because you've eaten with me. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it doesn't take me 15 or 20 minutes to decipher a menu. So that's why I study ahead of time, because it's embarrassing if I get caught off guard. It may take me a half hour to order.
Andy, when we went to Indy for Big Ten Media Days last year.
Let's hear it.
So DB's like sending menus out to everybody. Like he's sending links to people. He's like, hey, where do we want to go? We figure out the whole thing. We land on a spot. Which the food was good. The spot was sketchy.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It was not a place that it felt like
a lot of motorcycles and I'm listening. I got a good friend. He listens to the show who rides a motorcycle with long hair and a tattoo. Different. This guy plays in a band. These guys were in a gang. I was terrified.
Didn't seem like we were in the best part of Indianapolis. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
But DB orchestrates this whole thing where we're ordering. There's 4 of us. I think we ordered 6 different plates and just all did sort of family style.
Yeah.
And it was honestly, it was nice because you got to try a little bit of everything. So no shame on your sharing. Yeah. Also, pizzas don't count. You have to share pizzas. That's that doesn't count at all. That's like an appetizer.
Right.
So no shame at all. Listen, you do you get all the best food you can get, and don't let DB give you a hard time because he's orchestrating this whole thing so that he can try every single thing that he wants to.
Yeah.
Without having to order 8 different things himself.
AK and Ravi here for Buca de Beppo. Sure, go ahead.
Family style. That's an old school pull, man.
Yeah, it is old school, the Buca. And granted, you guys just stand in line on abusing us because we were at our table. Listen to this table on New Year's Eve. It was me and Suits, and then Shammert and Lauren Michelson, Amy Just, and Nico. photographer from Omaha World Herald, and it was a fun bunch for a table. So and here I'm gonna call him out. He's secure. So next time you have Ben Smith on the thing, Ben was like, you know what, I'm gonna pass on the big dinner. I'm gonna go across the street and get White Castle.
Nice.
Hey, so full disclosure. So,
no shame in White Castle.
listen, full disclosure. AK.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah,
AK,
I got you.
we're in the Tree of Trust. Last time we were in Indy, it's about 3:57 a.m. and your boy got breakfast sliders from White Castle at the hotel.
Oh.
Zero. They were horrible.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you make like the processing that has to go into making a 1-inch by 1-inch square sausage patty was horrifying.
I know, right?
I'm like, what press did they get these out of?
What?
I guess the same ones as they do the circles, but
yeah, the buns are the same, right? The buns are the same.
Listen, and I got a ham one too, and they put mayo on it with the egg and cheese, and I missed it. And I was like, I always make fun of this brand, but shout out Carl Budding, you know, the real cheap.
Yeah.
It was.
I'm a big fan. Yeah.
So Shane, you two cheapos.
yeah, exactly. I grew up with it.
But zero question, that was the ham. I got one ham, one bacon, and 2 sausage, and I'm telling you. Never again.
Did you need a code? Did they give you a code to go to the bathroom? That's what you need.
No. So,
is the bathroom open, or do you need a code or a key?
That's more of a Waffle House than a White Castle deal there, AK.
Again, since we're still in the tree of trust.
Circle of trust, right?
I never went back to bed, and I didn't walk over to the arena until quote unquote later because I wanted to make sure
digestively you were okay.
Good.
You were wanting to make sure you didn't have the same experience I had in Indy.
The cars were going over to the facility, and I was like, no, I'll be fine. I'll just walk.
Just give me a minute.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Oh, that's tremendous.
Well,
and by the way, I'm hearing media days for football. I mean, I hate to jump ahead, but not in Vegas this year. That was a one and done.
Yeah, I don't think it was received super well.
No, it wasn't, and wasn't attended very well either.
It was really expensive for tie lines and stuff too.
Yep. Oh yeah. For to actually do work at media days, imagine that. Yeah, it was an expensive proposition. So I imagine it's either Chicago or Indy again. So
I'm not.
Buckle up.
I think I'm one of the few that does not mind going back to Chicago. People didn't like it because
I'm with you 100%.
Because of the basement experience. But I thought Chicago was greater than Indianapolis. I don't know if that's a popular take though.
Well, the year you're referring to the Marriott year where it was in that basement, and that was the year that.
Now that was a bad setup, but it was better than the Fugitive one.
Correct. I thought the Hyatt one is the best setup.
I agree. That was the one where we could walk across the walkway.
Correct.
That was Kevin Wilson's last year, and he was a menace at Indy. I'll never forget that.
Yeah. Yeah, that setup is a little spread out, but I think with for what the purpose is, I thought that setup is the best.
I agree. I agree. That was the one.
Also, they know it's Chicago, right? Like, you don't have to do it in the basement. There's lots of options.
So why were we down there?
I think it was just just availability and where they could squeeze everybody in. And remember,
that was the infamous 6-win year.
Yeah. Yes. You got to get to 6. Yeah. And that was also the year Nebraska had to make an emergency or unscheduled landing in Gary, if I'm not mistaken, and had to bus over and then they had to switch the order. I think Lovie Smith had to go before Coach Frost because Frost was supposed to bat leadoff, as he likes to do, just get in and out. And they had to make some unscheduled landing in Gary, Indiana, because of their plane or something.
So Hyatt, Hyatt was Riley, right? Because I remember he had this sharp gray. Yep. Yeah. Okay. I got it. I got it.
Yeah. And also the Hyatt was back in the day. I'm sure we're boring people with the
it's
a media day, but
it's
all good. Yeah. Those were back in the days where they would the coaches too would have to sit down and be held captive for like an hour and a half.
Yep.
With local media and have to sit at a table, and those were great because you could really kind of BS with the coach and ask really what you wanted, and people would kind of, blend in and out and jump to different tables. I thought that setup was awesome, but the coaches hated it because they were held captive. That was probably the most talkative and man-to-man discussions you could get with Bo, because it was so informal. You know what I mean? With Bo, I mean, he would just have his cup of coffee and just.
Do you remember the infamous zipper busting bit for Bo? He had just broken his zipper. Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that joker broke in the bathroom. And I know Keith Mann and those guys were pooping a brick, but anyway.
I do remember the day.
Where's Coach Pelini? I think his zipper broke.
I do remember when I finally tracked Keith that set up a one-on-one with Bo. He says, you got 3 minutes. He's got to use the restroom first. And I said, oh, Coach. Yeah, I go, it's right here. I go, but it's a oneer. And he goes, a oneer? And I go, yeah, it's a oneer. It's just one toilet. And he goes, oneer. And then he walked in. He had never heard the phrase, a oneer.
AK,
there you go.
DB was mentioning White Castle and never again. I'm wondering if you've allowed yourself with Nebraska basketball to wonder when, if ever again, they're going to take a loss. Have you allowed yourself to kind of entertain 20-0 going into Michigan?
Oh,
you're free to go there. Everybody else does. Have fun with it.
I'm waiting for them. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. Maybe I thought last night was going to be a little more challenging than it was. And it was for the first, 18 minutes or 17 minutes. I thought that was going to carry out through the game. But, man, it's just their tendency to just wear you down and break down other teams. And then they just overload you with their balance. It's a different guy stepping up every night. And, think about, Jamarcus Lewis scores 27, the other day against Indiana, and he had 5 last night. Rink Mass plays 17 minutes, and they win by, 35 points. I guess I'm looking at their schedule before you get to Michigan, at Northwestern, at home against Washington, which that home court is, I think, second to none. And then the one that's sneaky scary to me is at Minnesota. Minnesota got beat at the buzzer last night. If you haven't seen it, unbelievable finish of that one. Yeah. And that's going to be and that's always a tough place to play for whatever reason. It's just
will they turn the lights on in there?
I know it's dark, it's dingy. You're playing on a platform, basically on a raised floor. It's an 11 a.m. start. That's the one that I'm like, if you can get, obviously that's the last one before Michigan, but yeah, I think anything's possible now. I mean, I saw maybe it was post game last night where they actually had Nebraska slated as a 1 seed. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is something I haven't seen before. So shoot, guys, this is where I'm like, just enjoy it. These long suffering Nebraska basketball fans who've been through the ringer over the years, man, this is something else. And we may never see something like this ever again because of what they've been doing.
Oh, don't you start lamenting already. You're too young for that.
I'm telling you, DB, come on now. When we start going back and say, wait, when was the last time they've done this? And when was the last time they've done this? And if you go back and if you can find a place that the last time they've done this was before me and you were alive, DB, that's saying something, right? So and we've been doing that a lot lately.
Okay, let me just put it this way, AK, because I understand what you mean on the sense of okay, are they in our lifetimes, are they going to start 17-0 again? Okay, maybe not. But I also remember, I know Nebraska basketball fans are going to hate this, but this is the comparison that I have. I remember growing up watching Creighton basketball, and the first guy that I remember was Ryan Sears. And I go, oh, man, they are never going to have a guy as good as Ryan Sears again. And then right after him comes Kyle Korver. And I go, oh, man, they are never going to have a guy as good as Kyle Korver again. And then right after Kyle Korver is Nate Funk. And I think, oh, man, they are never going to have a guy as good as Nate Funk again. And then it's Doug McDermott, and then it's Ryan Kalkbrenner. And so, we keep doing this thing. And maybe Kalkbrenner's not as good as McDermott. Maybe Funk's not as good as Korver. But the point is, we sometimes do this thing where we're like, oh, we're never going to have it this good again. And it's like, yeah, you can still have it pretty damn good, though.
Oh, No doubt. I agree with that.
Oh, don't
100%.
let Mr. Pragmatic linear dude steal your thunder, AK.
Listen to this. 17-0, man. 17-0. Like what? 21 wins in a row. Is that where they're at now?
Yeah.
21 in a row. Are we ever going to see the stretch again?
So that's kind of my point is
thing.
maybe you don't get 17-0 again, but maybe you get better in. We don't know what the postseason looks like. Maybe you get better in the post. You know what I mean? Like there's other
Here's my
things.
deal, Ravi. This is where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you've mentioned some superstars for Creighton basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing with Nebraska. Are we going to see a team with this kind of cohesiveness and connection, both sides of the ball, right? In this day and age of NIL and guys making millions of dollars a year, you have a team that actually, oh, by the way, they play fundamental basketball, and they play for each other, where the team is better than the individual parts. Like that is the team. If you look at the scoring leaders in the Big Ten, you don't see any of the Nebraska guys. You know why? Because they play like a team, and that's where I'm going. Like this is so refreshing to see a team play like a team, especially in this day and age.
To your point, I'm trying to find the Twitter thread last night during the game.
Let me ask while you're looking for it. Let me answer your question with a question.
Whatever.
Well, no, I thought you were looking for it. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
My answer to your question is another question. Is Fred Hoiberg still the basketball coach? Because I'll take my chances with what you just said. Because I think he's figured it out. I think he's figured out what he wants, what types of players he needs in order to get that. And maybe it might look a little different, but I don't think you're going to just lose all the connectivity because I think there's way more Hoiberg fingerprints on this team than maybe we give it credit for.
That I agree 100%.
And I love to see his delivery. He's so good in these pressers.
Because he's a pro, right? I mean, he knows it, he gets it. And here's the thing, guys, like he's a great evaluator of talent, but not just the evaluator of talent, the talent that he knows he needs in his system. And that is what he's learned over the years. And the fact that he's evolved to what kind of coach he is now, where they're this gritty, scrappy, defense is just important as the offense deal. This is a pretty amazing story. And I'm just happy that the nation is actually giving Fred his flowers, this is pretty cool. This is very cool to have Nebraska basketball on this stage where a guy like, John Rothstein with his platform, he's going nuts over it on the national, Twitterverse. And that's a great deal. And you just can't imagine what's going to happen next. And that's because we don't know. This is all new to Nebraska basketball fans. So this is why it's so enjoyable.
To your point, last night I think they played 7 guys with 17 or more minutes, and I think Garcia got to 10. So that's 8 guys with double-digit minutes. And we have done this with Nebraska basketball for years. There was a Twitter thread last night, and some of the replies were funny. It was, hey, with this team going forward, what do they need? And so we did the thing, or social media was doing the thing, where they would take players from other stretches. Oh, hey, would you take Bryce McGowan's on this team, or Bryce with this team, or whatever. And there were like 4 or 5 guys that were like, guys, don't replace anybody. What makes this team unique is just how they're playing. We don't need it. We don't want anybody different. I thought it was. I'm like, oh my gosh,
let it
Nebraska basketball. Like, we're gonna learn to have nice things.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
But do you know what it is? It's because they've never been given anything good before. Like, football is just the opposite. You've had too many good things, so we're spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agree. Well, and I'll tell you this. Somebody in the newsroom last night said, and imagine, they don't have Connor or Sejan. And I said, well, is the mix different with Connor? Who knows? Maybe they're better. But nobody knows.
We're not even allowing ourselves to go anywhere different other than to stay right here.
Stay right here.
That's awesome.
Just stay right here.
It's
good right here. Let's stay right here.
Your club is 17-0. They're ranked 8th in the country. Probably going to move up if they win at Northwestern. Enjoy it. This is fun.
Here's the funny thing about
basketball.
The Sejan argument is like, oh, imagine if we had a Sejan. It's like, can you be better than 17-0? Because as far as I'm concerned, that's not possible.
That's what a couple of the replies were last night. It's like, guys, they're perfect. Like, why are we thinking?
Right. What, you got to beat Oregon 96 to 55 90 to 55? You know, like,
could you believe how they were playing volleyball on offense? It's like it would hurt them just to squeeze the basketball. It's like,
it was like hot potatoes.
Like, what are they doing?
That they're going.
Turning it over. I was like, I don't know. Altman's presser it's not an all-time classic, but boy, it was hard not to feel for him because
Well, when I'm looking at the box score, bench points just comes out. Yeah, like just at 37-7, your bench points and points off turnovers 23-4. Come on now.
And what was it the other night? 22-0?
I mean, that's the thing. That's how deep they are. Their bench is deep, and like I say, different guy can step up every night. And Sam Hoiberg doing Sam Hoiberg things, assuming he's on the floor. 5 steals in that first half. That's going to win you some games, And good on these guys for keeping it all together. And how about Brayden Frager? This is a guy, and you're like, wow, he redshirted. I want to hear people like, what are they doing redshirting last year?
And he almost didn't. He almost came out.
But I'll tell you, it's a beautiful decision now looking back because that guy is a player. Oh my goodness! And the sky is the limit for that kid. So good on this. It's going to be a fun couple months.
That's Andy KENDEIGH, KETV. AK, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, AK.
Thanks, fellas. Good laughs. Have a good one.
You got it.
We're going to take a real quick break here and get to Mitch Sherman from The Athletic coming up next on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for us was competing with them on the glass. That's a top 25 offensive rebounding team, and we held them to 0 in the first half. And I told the guys in the locker room, it's the power of finishing a half the right way and getting the momentum. I give Oregon a lot of credit for the way they came out, and it was, if I'm not mistaken, 28-28 with about 3 minutes to go, and then we end up with a double-digit lead going into halftime. And then I was really proud of how the guys responded coming out and throwing the first punch, and then really keeping our foot on the gas for the entire 20 minutes in the second. And, listen, the travel that Oregon has had this last week is crazy, to play west or on the East Coast and then fly back for one game and then come back to, I give these guys a lot of credit for the way that they came out of the gate. And, Dana's one of the best to ever do it. And, they're going to figure it out and hopefully be home and get some rest. But, I'm proud of our guys. They really did. We talked about that before the game. If we win the glass, we're going to have a really good chance to win the game. And that's what happened.
Oh, it helps. Yeah, it helps a bunch. Any extra time that you can get, especially with the guys, kind of getting acclimated coming back from winter break to just get in the flow of things, it makes a world of a difference, especially stepping into that first series in Arizona. It's been great, like Nebraska will always hold a special place in my heart. My grandparents live in Omaha. I have relatives all over the state, so getting to come back and, be close to them and be close to family, it means the world to me. I would say, like, one of the strengths is, like, the culture. I've been a part of some really good baseball teams, but I've never been a part of a group this tightly knit, and getting to experience what that is and what it means to be a Husker, it's been tremendous.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mayo Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, I see we're rocking some Royals gear this morning. How we doing?
Yeah, I'm going old school Royals, 2015 World Series champions. So, we still have to live in that moment, but big things coming for the Royals in 2026. I know this is what you guys wanted to talk about, but they're moving the fences in at Kauffman Stadium. And
I saw that.
10 feet, right?
I saw that.
Something like that, yeah. So Bobby Witt and Vinny Pasquantino can hit some more home runs.
Lazy pop fly.
Be careful what you wish for.
It's left the yard. So it's not going to be fun sending you pictures from Kauffman Stadium because you're going to be like, just like last year. Yeah, I've been here 1,000 times. I don't know why you're sending me these pictures, DB. Cool story, but I know the fences have been moved in.
I will do that.
I will. I'm teasing, but
yeah,
I did feel like, wait a minute, you were just here, however early before that, a week or two or a month or whatever.
I was there for the Dodgers in June. Yeah,
and I was like, why did I just send this dude a picture of Ohtani? I don't know. But
you might have been there the next night after me.
I think I was, because your seats were right there too, right?
We sat down the
third base line.
Third base line, yeah, shallow left field.
Yeah, that's right where I was. Anyway, you guys got out to a 2-0 lead on us, and I was like, this might be the worst trip ever. It already started with rain, and I'm like 2 hours.
Doesn't matter. You're going to win the World Series, so
again.
What happens? No, I mean
last year
when we're reviewing the thoughts of last year, it's like, hey, it's just June. This is small potatoes when you know what's going to happen in October and into November.
Mitch, so should I? So people give me a hard time, and I always look for advice on how to behave as an adult. I struggled with documented, right? I struggle with cheering for good players. I get it, but this one is real. I am not a Timmy Trumpet guy. Do I need to grow up, or will you not judge me for not being all in on Timmy Trumpet and Diaz when he comes out as a Dodger fan?
Are you talking about Timmy Trumpet, like the actual guy who plays the trumpet? Okay, I wanted to make sure we weren't referencing a baseball player.
I love the
I know Timmy Trumpet. Yeah,
I love the price tag for Diaz, but I'm not like all in on the acquisition. Do I need to grow up?
Your team has a lot of money,
Here we
so
go.
I think you should just embrace the fact that they spend it. That's where I'm at. I have some Dodger fans in my family too, and I have no sympathy in the group text that focuses mainly on baseball about like the complaints and the worries of Dodger fans. So no, I don't think you should have any reason to be wallowing in anything when that's your team. But you gotta do you and support them the way that you want. It's always it's not fun if you don't have anything to be worried about or complaining about. Like if you're just Indiana football and you beat everybody by 40 points, what's the fun in it?
Mitch, I'm gonna guess Indiana football fans are actually having a lot of fun right now.
I think they probably are.
If I had to,
you think all those
talked to one last night at the Nebraska basketball game.
All those fans were still left in Atlanta from what Nebraska did to Indiana during that 16-point deficit, because that place was not very loud for what it was for Indiana to have been up like that, and then all of a sudden it was gone. They were probably still hungover.
Yeah, I mean, of course, all of them were reveling in the football. That's the thing is you do something like what Indiana's doing in football, and Nebraska in basketball is far from those kind of accomplishments. But just like the shock value of seeing the program in Lincoln or the football program in Bloomington reaching heights that were completely unexpected, it brings everyone in. So all kinds of people. I mean, Nebraska basketball fans are coming out of the woodwork right now. I mean, I'm hearing from people at the game last night. My phone's lit up. People watching this game who haven't paid attention to Nebraska basketball, and I don't know, even the years where they went to the tournament under Fred and under Tim Miles, like they weren't jumping on in this way, and that's obviously what it is with Indiana football. So. Yeah, I couldn't necessarily tell from watching on TV Saturday in the game in Bloomington Indiana basketball fans were totally engaged, or if they were still if they still had their heads in the sky a little bit from the night before. But you have to expect it at this point with Indiana football. Like, that wasn't all that much of a shock. I say that, and like at the kickoff of that game, I had it in my head that Oregon was going to win that game, but then they started playing, and I was like, oh yeah, this is Indiana. This is what they do. They make no mistakes at all. So no matter how you look at it, that win for Nebraska in Bloomington, I don't care if it came at the same time that the football team was playing. It's a tough place to go in and win, and they just continue to amaze me at every turn, including last night with a 35-point win.
Hey, Mitch, I'm going to, like a belt-high fastball to your favorite player in Kansas City, who, by the way, is going to have a good chance to win an AL MVP finally. I'm in one of my little anti-social moods in Vegas, so I'm looking to walk someplace close at night to go get something to eat. And lo and behold, I hear this, hey, DB, you doing this media SHIT? I look over my shoulder. It was one Carl Hayes with his wife. And I said, listen, it was the second most exciting thing that I had seen, because I had just seen Petco in the lobby, Mike Petco in the lobby right before that. So in my heyday of fandom, those guys are up there. So I said, Carl, what are you doing here? And he's like, hey, my wife and I, we come here every year for Christmas at this time. This is just kind of what we do. And to listen to him wax poetic about the current state of Nebraska basketball when they had been the benchmark themselves was like the coolest thing for me ever, Mitch. And I'm just telling you, like, the fandom and out of the woodworks and stuff, you're spot on, because even he, who was part of that mythical stretch, didn't know what to do with what they're doing right now. And that was 5 games ago. They weren't 17-0.
Yeah.
They were just kind of doing their thing. But even he was like elated. It was fantastic to hear him talk about it.
Yeah, the storyline is progressing very fast with this team. So last night was the first time that they played at home since January 2nd in that Michigan State game. And I think in that game, everyone was wondering, all right, is this when the glass slipper doesn't fit? People are going to come to cash their paycheck right now. It's a new year. They're playing Michigan State. Like, this is no longer, just the start of the season and like a fun little story. So that was the feeling it wasn't even 2 weeks ago. It was 10, 11 days ago. And they come home last night after the 2 wins on the road. And it's like, all right, you're in a completely different place. Like the roof was ready to come off of PBA last night with the students back in and the band back in, and Nebraska at 16-0 and in number 8 in a way that was I wasn't there on January 2nd, but just in kind of observing and hearing about that in a totally different kind of way. Like, last night felt at that arena unlike anything that I can remember, certainly in that arena. Now, there may have been some days, and I was around for some of this in even the Big 8, but in the Big 12 at Devaney, where Nebraska was playing really, really good basketball and the confidence was sky high, but it was still different last night. Like, and that the players, they feed off of that. It's great to see guys like Carl Hayes. And I don't know Carl, but like, I know the name and I remember when he played, and I know the teams that he was on. And I was listening to some of the Indiana game on the radio on Saturday. I'm not sure how I did that. Maybe it was the pregame show or whatever, because I watched it on TV. But I believe this is where I heard it. Yep. They were interviewing Brian Carr. I think it was at halftime of that game. I ran out to get some lunch at halftime of that game with my 15-year-old who needs to eat every meal at I won't even give him free advertising. But and they were interviewing Brian Carr, Kent and Jeff Smith, who lives in Indiana or is a native of Indiana. Mm-hmm. It was the same kind of thing, like in his voice, that I'm sure you heard in Carl Hayes' voice, where he played in the late 80s and is just like in euphoria land to be watching a Nebraska basketball team that is executing it the way those Huskers were. And they were losing at halftime of that game. And still he was like, I got all the confidence in the world. I've seen these guys do this. They're going to come back and win. And sure enough, they did.
It just was so, I mean, I like kind of the older guys, and he was just leaving as I was just coming, and just his excitement. And it was just cool, Mitch, because without a lot of history, they don't suffer from the compare and contrast. The remember when, the we did it like this. There's no pressure, right? It's just, it's fun.
And free.
It's free.
That's a good point.
Right? So there's this part of me that's like, oh man, that'd be pretty cool.
These will be the guys who have reunions. Now we're getting ahead of ourselves. They got to do something in March. But these will be the guys who have a 10-year reunion in 2035, 36, and are the ones that put the pressure on the players down the road then. It's like, how come you guys didn't do it like we did it? We were a great team, and we just kicked everyone's butt. We didn't care.
Great.
Our practices were harder than the games.
That's all we need. All right there. But you nailed it, right? But we joke, but there is something to it, right? And I give Indiana as the comp. The methodology for Cignetti is fantastic. The discipline, fantastic. All of that is great. But there is something to being free to do what you do without any preconceived comps.
Yeah, I wrote about that last week and just how they're not bothered by not just the fact that they don't have history. Well, they do have history, but that they don't have championship history that's breathing down their neck. They're also not bothered by the fact that this team has never won an NCAA tournament game. You remember Tim Miles and in the team that I believe it was his second year, the team that second or third year that he took in 2014 to the dance. And as the season that was the no-sit Sunday. And as the season was ending, and there were a lot of questions for him about whether it would be the team, might even been early in the season, whether that could be the team that would break through. And they were on a 16-year drought at that point, hadn't been to the tournament since Tyronn Lue left school. And Tim was bothered by it. He said he wasn't, but he was, he got very animated. And I guess you could say that he got animated about anything, but
that's don't put this crap on me quote, isn't it?
Yes. He was like, that's not on me. That's not us. That's so, that's not, Fred would not answer that question that way. Fred would just say, we need to have a good practice tomorrow. And he would mean it. Oh. So that's great for this team. And all that said, like one of the things about the comparison between Indiana football and Nebraska basketball that doesn't really mesh for me is when Cignetti came in and, he was like, Google me. We're going to be beating Ohio State and Michigan next year. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, this guy needs to get a clue.
Google me.
Certainly that is not Fred. And I think even if you were to say to Fred as recently as a couple of months ago, hey, you're going to play Oregon at home on a night in January, and Rink Mast is going to get in foul trouble. The guy who your offense runs through, your all Big Ten caliber player, the one who the most valuable piece on your team, he's going to get in foul trouble and score 5 points in 17 minutes. What kind of a game are you looking at? I mean, in no scenario are you then saying, yeah, I think we could win by 35. Like it's how many
scenarios
ridiculous.
Are you saying I think we could win?
No,
going
very
into
few.
the season, right? If you told me that about Mast in any conference game, how many of those are you actually saying like, oh, I think we can still win?
Yeah, like one
that's
or
not
two.
A big number.
Like one or two, you'd have you would think at the start of the year. That's what you would have thought, but it's just completely changed. I mean, everybody in that top 7 is like if everyone is contributing in like this such unique ways. I mean, to watch Cale Jacobson last night. First of all, he's manning the post on defense at 6'4". I mean, I'm not going to say anything bad about his athleticism. I'm sure he can dunk, but he's not stacking up physically to the big men in the Big Ten. Definitely not the Oregon big men who are their bread and butter when Shellstad, their point guard, is out, even more so. and he's holding his own down there, and he's like controlling the game on offense. He scored like 9 straight points at one time. This is Cale Jacobson. I know he's a vet. Like, he's been around. He's been in the program 4 years. He's earned his time. Like, he is a very smart and methodical and like sneaky good player, but it's Cale Jacobson, and they're playing Oregon, and he is like taking over the game. It's just, some of the stuff is, you can't even believe it when you see it.
Have you allowed yourself to think about how Sam Hoiberg's way better than we think he is?
He's obviously very good. And, you know, I've heard some conversation, like, since it's basically midseason, or we're getting close to midseason, where people start to roll out their, you know, early all Big Ten teams, and you just put Rink Mast on there because you go, well, he's the most consistent, like highest ceiling guy from Nebraska, the one who does the most on the court for them. I don't know if that's accurate in some games. I mean, Rink has definitely had his nights where he went wild, and Sam doesn't fill up the stat sheet like he did last night every night, but it sure seems like every single coach that Nebraska goes against mentions Sam Hoiberg first when they talk about Nebraska. And you know that defense travels in college basketball, and you have to be playing great defense to win in March. Altman talked about that last night. He's shown that with his teams through the years. So Sam is the engine that drives their defense. And when you start getting stuff on offense like he did from him last night, where he's going coast to coast and weaving through the lane and making shots. And I mean, he's not going to be a first team all Big Ten just because he's not. But I mean, if you're talking about like value to the team, and he might be second team all Big Ten, he's going to be all Big Ten defense, the defensive team. It's yeah, he's very good. And like as close as any player that I can remember, and this goes across multiple sports, probably as close as any player that I can remember in a long time who is maximizing what he has to give. Like Sam's at like in the 90 percentile or above when you say like, what is the best that this player could be? And then you see what he's doing. He's pretty much there.
I'm going to stay right there because two of these teams have something in common. Michigan State's won 3 in a row. Don't blink, but Illinois has won 5 in a row. They're both of those teams' last loss was to Nebraska. The other thing is there's Michigan and Purdue.
Yeah.
When you look at the top 5 in the Big Ten Conference, how soon or what do you need to see before you say blank team is the best in the Big Ten?
Well, I would have said Michigan before Saturday, and every team is allowed to
even with Penn State.
Yeah, I know. Played a close game on the road at Penn State. Michigan, when the Wolverines are playing at their best, I'm confident is the best team in the Big Ten and one of the best 2 or 3 in the country, maybe the best in the country. So, but that doesn't mean they're going to play that way every night. And Nebraska's been more consistent than Michigan because it's not just the loss to Wisconsin. Michigan did have that Penn State game. It has had some other games that have been very close. And I suppose you could say that about Nebraska too, and look at some of the first halves that Nebraska has played against low-level teams at home this year, and you know, say, hey, they needed a 16-point comeback against Indiana and had a big comeback at a neutral site against Oklahoma. So it's not been all consistency for Nebraska, but hey, they've won the games and they've played the most consistent, probably in crunch time, of any team in the Big Ten. I don't even know that question has to be answered at the end of the year. Like, all of those teams are going to be seeded fairly high going into March, and Nebraska right now is 2-0 against that bunch, and it has another one against Illinois and another one against Purdue at home. Has to go to Michigan. So if you can hold serve, which is not going to be easy to do, in beating Illinois a second time and beating Purdue, I mean, Nebraska will probably be underdogs in at least one of those games, and will definitely be an underdog going into Ann Arbor. But if you can somehow go 2-1 in those games, like, you have to start to then like Nebraska's chances to win the Big Ten, which is crazy, but it's a real thing. They're 6-0, and they have some winnable games coming up, and there's some winnable games at the end, and they've got 3 that on paper stand out as really, really, really tough.
Let me ask you about the portal.
you've covered this a while. Well, college sports forever, but the portal relatively new over the last handful of years. Do you wait till you evaluate portal acquisitions, or do you kind of like take it with each edition, and or how do you view how teams are managing and success rate in the portal?
One way to look at it, I don't know that the only way to really judge it is to assess the production of the players once they get into the program and start playing in games. Like there's no other method that actually works. You apply this to basketball and say like, hey, look at Kentucky and they spent, I don't know, 10 million, whatever the number is, 15 million on their roster, and they're not producing. So it's not all about how much money you spend. It's not all about the accomplishments of the players who are coming into your program. I think a big piece of it is, what did you lose to the portal? And that's the place where Nebraska has done exceedingly well, I think, here in the last couple of weeks. And there are 3 days left. So things can change on a dime, as we've seen in this part of the sport. So Nebraska may still lose some key pieces to the portal, but it's been less damaging than what I would have thought at this point going in. The other thing you can look at, and this is just like to get an early gauge, not so much to gauge it when they're done. Where are the players coming from that you have picked up in comparison to the players who have left your program and where they're going? And I had like a partial list that I started working on the other day, and where the Nebraska players who transferred out have gone to, and it's Tulsa, Rice, Wyoming, Fresno State. I believe there have been some others that have jumped on since then. I might be missing a Power 4 school. And then coming in, you have UCLA, Iowa State, San Diego State, South Carolina, UNLV, Oregon State, Virginia, and you add LSU to that list yesterday.
South Carolina.
South Carolina with
Babalade. Babalade.
Do we know how to pronounce that? Is that right? Babalade?
Yeah, that's right. I tweeted out the pronunciation key because I was mortified at what was happening with how people were saying.
Good.
My producer still says Beyblade, so we're baby steps here, Mitch.
So and then you got him on the offensive side and Berberia on the defensive side. So I think I know that one and got that correct. Anyway, the profile of the program that Nebraska is getting players from is higher than the profile of players that Nebraska is sending players to. So that's one like unscientific way to gauge it. And I don't know if I don't know if Nebraska did as well in that area a year ago. It did fine. I mean, you had offensive line transfers from Alabama and Notre Dame, but it seemed to be.
And Kynan Torres goes to Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan.
Right. Yes, there's a Michigan on the outward train. Yeah, and that's
yeah.
That was an eye opener for sure.
Which one?
Houston, Kynan Torres going to Michigan.
I liked him.
I liked him too.
I liked him.
He's his body type. He changed a ton. I liked him a lot, Mitch.
That's one that when you see that happen in like Ernest Hausman a few years ago, when you see a player leave and land at Michigan, that's when and I think we knew it with Hausman. Like people did not want to see him leave, obviously. But with this one, with Kynan Torres, it's like, is this guy going to go and be an all conference kind of offensive lineman here in a couple of years? And I think people knew it a year ago with Uman Mielin that Nebraska really had something there, and going to the SEC.
We sure didn't act like it when he left. Ooh.
I know. We saw it. We saw it at times in Princeville.
I agree.
But yeah, you look at the season that he had, and that's how you gauge it. It's got to come after they've had a chance to get their feet on the ground and play in their next program. And so then you rate the losses versus the gains and try to win the portal every year.
Mitch, do you, whether it's in the moment or kind of afterwards, like we're grading, do you grade on a scale with schools that not that Nebraska doesn't have a good amount of NIL money, because we've talked about that a lot this last few years, but like schools like Nebraska, where it doesn't seem like you have one enormous benefactor necessarily, versus schools like Oregon, where they can kind of just rely on the old man's money, and it's just like, do you grade on scale because of that?
A little bit, but they're all competing for the same prize at the end. So I think you can grade on a scale in the portal that way, but then once they start playing football, like, that doesn't matter. But yeah, it's interesting to see with Texas Tech at the beginning of the portal cycle, and their strategy was just to go hit it hard right from the start and outspend teams and just like overwhelm prospects with what they had to offer and fill up their class early. And then you saw other teams, Big Ten teams, Ohio State and Oregon, that sat back and knew that it might be in the second wave of players to go in the portal before some of the pieces entered that they were interested in, or if they went in the first wave, they were having those two schools were having, and probably some others were having Georgia, hasn't been real active in getting players, Miami, those teams that maybe sat back and had communications with the agents of the players they wanted and said, hey, hold tight. Like, we're going to do this. We're going to do this in the second week, and we're going to basically sign who we want when we want. And that's a little bit of a flex. And you've seen it from Oregon. You've seen it from Ohio State. I think Ohio State went out and signed like 6 players last weekend, including a couple of D linemen from Alabama. Like, everybody would love to be able to do that, but everybody is not Ohio State. They obviously have not just the spending power, but the reputation as a program to be able to they don't have to wade through some of the junk that other programs do in trying to get transfers. And it's the same way in recruiting for Ohio State, so it's not a surprise.
All right, I'm going to ping, just because I know you follow a ton, before I get you out of here. Will we remember last night's game at Creighton, the replay, as the replay that saved the postseason, or did it prolong the inevitable?
Yeah, I just watched it. If you'd asked me that question, in fact, while I was waiting to come on your show, I watched the play, and I was like, I was slowing it down frame by frame.
And that's
tried it.
I did that for 10 minutes.
I know, I did it for a while. I would probably still be doing it if you guys hadn't pulled me in. And I don't know. I guess I would like a rule interpretation on 2 things. One, is the game over when the light comes on, or is the game over when the clock hits 0.00? And then the second thing is, does the ball have to be completely out of the player's hand, or can part of the ball be out of the player's hand in order for it to count as a successful shot? And like, the answer to both of those questions probably determines whether the call was right. And I'm not sure what the answer is. But yeah, I tend to think, Damon, and totally, Greg McDermott, like, he's a legend. In no way am I like talking down to what Creighton has this year. And it's been impressive to watch them bounce back, because obviously this isn't the way that they intended for their season to go, or envisioned that their season would go. And like, losing McAndrew, and then you start to get Hudson Greer into form, and then he gets injured. Like, Owen Freeman just hasn't been what Creighton wanted. So a lot of credit to them for even being alive right now. But I kind of think, the way that game ended at Seton Hall, like the way the game went against St. John's the other day, I think it's delaying the inevitable. Like, I don't think this is going to, it's not going to be a tournament team. I don't think. Like, if it is, you talk about,
and that's kind of gutsy, because it's easier to play the percentages of what historically happens with Coach Mack.
I know, but I just don't see it with this team. Like, if McAndrew had stayed healthy, like, maybe they would have that spark and they'd be able to go to another level. And they definitely like had new life when Big East play started. I think this is going to be the rare year where they're going to be playing in another tournament at the end of the season and not the big dance. And they've had an amazing run. And I don't think this is any kind of indication that like it's coming to an end because Max time is coming to an end. Like, I think they're going they're going to keep going. But to me, from what it looks like, this just isn't the year. And yeah, like if they had lost last night, that might have been like the nail in the coffin. But I kind of still feel like that day is around the corner for them. I hope it's not. I hope we get to see two high major teams from the state of Nebraska playing on the big stage in March. But the shoe is on the other foot this year, where you got one team in major danger of missing out, and it's not the team in red.
That's Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, appreciate the time as always. Good stuff, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Hit him a lot of sports, Mitch. Thanks, buddy.
Take care.
That's Mitch Sherman from The Athletic.
I wonder, I should have asked him his government. Do you think when he was in trouble as a kid, they call him Mitchell or just Mitch?
Oh, probably Mitchell.
Because he said some inflammatory things about the Dodgers, and I want to be like, Mitchell. Who's Mitchell?
I almost went in on you, but I didn't.
Of course.
During that part of the
That's
conversation, I showed restraint.
You talk about prolonging the inevitable. I'm sure it will come. You have joke Tourette's.
Yeah,
you can't help yourself.
I did earlier. I stopped myself earlier.
Well, that was racist. That's not a joke. That was going to be all out racist.
No.
The Mexican one?
Yeah.
Racist.
No. We love Mexicans and Hispanics, and we love everybody. Everybody love everybody. That should be the title of the show. Everybody love everybody.
But that's not true.
Yeah, it is.
That's not true.
Who don't we love?
Who
do you love? Who don't we love? What? You gonna write it down for me?
Right on cue as I'm talking to my buddy. This was his tweet. You don't like him either.
No, it's fine.
This one?
Well.
Yeah. So now you need to be back rocking with the mayor.
Like and love are different. I
love you.
Yeah.
Answer the question though about the Jays.
Which one?
Prolonging the inevitable or the replay that saved the season?
Well, first of all, it was the correct call. The ball was still on his fingertips.
So it was the tips because it was out of the palm.
It was out of the palm, but it was right here.
Shane, relax, not Rosie.
It was right here when both the light went off and it was 0.0. It was the correct call. The first angle they showed wasn't great. The one from behind the basket was much better. So it was the correct call. I think I said this early in the year. Things have changed a little bit, but I still think this is an NIT team.
Okay. Mitch said something that was eating at me all weekend about the NFL and the Twitch with Buffalo and Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
The 0 versus some other mythical clock on the field drives me up the wall.
Okay.
So whatever it is, when you explain it to me, tell everybody that it's different.
Okay.
Does that not make sense?
No, that's fair, yeah.
Yeah, 0 was on the clock.
Yeah.
Zeros were on the game clock with Jacksonville and Buffalo.
Yes, correct.
So do you have some other timing mechanism that you're going by? And
Don't
if
put that
you
crap
do,
on. Tell people. Yeah, just be like, because I think in football, I think you're right. Because in football, you don't have the point seconds.
Yeah, drives me up the wall.
In basketball, you do.
It drives me absolutely. But usually the point is visible in hoops.
That's what I mean. So in basketball, I don't think you have that problem because you get the tenths of a second. Yeah. In football, you never get the tenths of a second.
Like, what?
So I think you're right.
Because do I need to get into the game clock when it's actually on 0 and there's a full second from 1 to 0?
It's like 0.9.
And I'm like,
you could be at 0.9 seconds and it'll say 0.
And I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, we can put men on the moon. Change the goddamn clocks to have decimal points.
This is how I feel about.
It's not that hard.
No, I agree.
It's not that hard.
This is how I feel about spotting the football.
Bishop Gorman has a score bug that has more pixels than the one at PBA.
Yeah.
You can change a clock to say point anything if you want to.
Yes, you can. And I would guess that whoever is running the actual clock, because I've operated those scoreboards before, even if the thing up there doesn't say, usually the thing that you're operating on the scoreboard does have the tenths of a second.
Yeah.
At least in my experience. So my guess is you're right, that there is someone operating that scoreboard that has the tenths of a second, but that is not being displayed on the scoreboard on the field. So they do need to tell people that, or just, you're the NFL, you have like, I don't know, $11 billion. Just
How
pay
many?
11.
But you made fun of me when I said bajillion yesterday.
Yeah, I know. No, I made fun of you because you asked if it was a real number. Different. I know 11, not a real number. You should know bajillion, not a real number.
I was being facetious.
Million, billion, trillion, quadrillion. Those are all real numbers.
Upper your zillion.
No, I've never had a Brazilian. That's more of a Shane thing.
I said your zillion.
Oh, like
That's
Zillow?
more of a Shane thing. Is that what you said?
Yeah, you like Brazilian nuts, right?
I like Brazilian girls.
I meant the food, man. What are you talking about?
Time the heck out.
Brazil nuts?
You've never left Omaha. That's right. The internet. I'm sorry.
Shane's like me. He doesn't need to travel to get the scenery.
And I'm going to say this.
Okay.
Brazilian nuts, way too much work to get to some crowded, stuffed cram deals that you need like a shoehorn to get out of the whole shell.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, my dad was.
Was he?
Oh. Overrated.
Yeah.
Too much work. A lot like crab legs.
I do like crab legs, though.
They're fine.
Yeah, I do like crab legs.
It's too much work for the reward, though.
T-Max says, check his browser.
Check yours.
Hey,
He's mad.
check yours.
Shane, you brought it up. You didn't have to say Brazilian girls.
You brought up Brazilian. I mean, that's the first thing I can think of.
DB brought up Brazilian.
Isn't that the first thing you think of?
No, I didn't. I said your zillion. Don't listen, Tim. Don't put that crap on me.
Hey, don't put that crap on me, man.
Oh man,
Don't put that crap on me.
That's my bad. So this NIT team.
I think so.
It'd be hard to get them motivated for anything other than the dance.
I get it.
Because they don't appear to be motivated in the regular season.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with this team, right? Is there's plenty of talent out there. There's plenty of talent on the roster. I don't think that's a question. They just do not, for whatever reason, there's certain guys on the team that have a hard time finding that level on any given day.
Shane knows nothing about Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Big jiu-jitsu.
But that's fun.
That's a good
what I thought of.
Big jiu-jitsu guy. I went Brazil nuts immediately. That's why,
So the first thing you thought of was karate.
No, jiu-jitsu.
Same thing.
Don't tell that to anybody that knows either of them. They will beat you up.
Same thing. No, it's not.
Not at all.
Not at all.
God, Shane, I love you,
Don't
man.
put that crap on me.
And who dropped the term yesterday?
Which one?
Oh, Coach Manning. God made you special.
Yeah, he was on his VeggieTales game yesterday.
No, God made me short.
He made you special too, Shane. All right. Josh says Creighton clearly doesn't like to play defense.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
No, it's terrible. And here's the thing that I know. I asked you this question. I wanted to ask Nick, but we didn't get to it. And I don't remember if I know I asked you off air. I don't think I've asked you on air. I asked you whether or not if you are at an athletic deficiency.
Is it easier to compensate on offense or defense?
On offense or defense. Because I look at Nebraska and I look at that and that's not a crazy athletic team. That's not even a crazy long.
Can I say something though?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think two things you miss. You're not right on.
Okay.
I think they're longer than you think.
Okay.
I think they're significantly longer than you think. Between Frager, Sanford,
Bear K's long.
They are long.
Okay.
Than you think.
Fair.
And the other thing is, who do you think is less than average athletically?
I didn't say less than the average. I said not crazy athletic. Like if you stacked them up, they might be above average, but if you stacked them up against the other top 10 teams in the country, they're not above 7 athletically. Fair?
I don't know. Well, I'll give you 2.
I mean, let's look at the top. Okay.
I'll just give you 2.
Okay.
Gale Jr. and Cadeau.
Okay.
They're crazy athletic.
No.
They're black, but they ain't crazy athletic.
No, I understand that.
So
crazy length on Michigan too. So that is sort of similar.
Length in the front court.
Yes, backcourt's
that
not.
backcourt is not big.
No. But like Hoiberg's not big. He doesn't.
Okay. How about Lawyer and Braden Smith?
How tall is Braden Smith? I thought he was like 6'4".
Maybe.
I'll look.
He's not 6'4". Not in real life.
Okay, fair. I don't know what he's listed at. Oh no, he's listed at 6 foot. That's my bad.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
It's like, I don't know what the paper says. He's little, and so's Lawyer.
Yeah, they're not long.
I don't know, man. I think you need to reconsider.
Okay.
Because I know that there's one guy that's biracial that plays on 20th and Dodge, and he looks like a stiff.
Which one?
Who refuses to defend right now?
The entire roster.
Not Josh Dix.
Everybody not named Josh Dix.
And not Jason
Green. Yeah. Well, he's a Miller North guy. He's always going to do the right thing.
Wow. You're so closet. It's not even funny.
What, you talking about Nick Graves?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Graves doesn't want to defend anybody.
He's got to guard better.
Yeah.
He has got to guard better.
I don't think he's a good athlete, though.
My point was, if they were doing athletic drills, Sam Hoiberg would run circles around Nick Graves. Sam Hoiberg is athletic.
I agree. He's not long. Like
he's dunking. He's super twitchy.
Yeah.
Like he's athletic.
He's not long, which I
could play multiple sports too. He just plays basketball.
I'll be honest, when I'm talking about defensively, small guards bother me a lot.
I know. You hate them. That's why
really
was going to choke you.
It really, really bothers me. He wasn't putting hands on anybody. You know that. You saw him try and play defense. He's not putting hands on a soul.
You're so childish.
If he did, we wouldn't have had a problem. Also, if he stopped shooting those dumbass floaters, but that's fine.
I'm not messing with you. At all.
No, but I think the question, like, do you think, so let me put it this way, because we're talking about Creighton versus Nebraska. Do you think Nebraska is more athletic than Creighton or less athletic than Creighton?
More.
Okay. Do you think Creighton is...
I almost was going to say considerably.
Do you think Creighton is athletic enough to defend better than they are?
Yes.
Do you think they're long enough to defend? Because they are pretty long.
Yes. The answer is yes.
So
what ails Creighton is a lot of what bugged me about Nebraska's defensive line.
Is want to?
Yes.
Am I gonna?
Yes.
So that's my point.
Yeah.
Is I think
I'm on record right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if and I'll eat it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll eat it. I'll own it. I don't give a good gosh dang.
Mm-hmm.
The same guys that you're making fun of this year for their play for Nebraska on the D-line,
not me,
will be markedly better next year, and they will be some of the same guys.
I'd believe that.
Take it to the bank.
I'm the one that liked the D-line this year.
Take it to the bank.
I believe you. I do.
And so I get, well, who's going to play the one? Who's going to play the Listen, man, they'll be better. Not to be making fun of my guy Lance, because he gets special treatment.
I'm all the way.
And that's without you coughing up one of those vests, Lance. I need to put you on investigative duty and find me one of those red zip-up sleeveless vests.
Investigative duty?
Yes. I want one bad. I don't have, and I'm not a big red guy.
No, you don't wear a lot of red.
No, even
with West Side and Nebraska,
I
you're
wear
wearing
the blacks and
the
grays.
Yeah.
And the red, it's okay.
Yeah. Don't love the red, huh?
It's just not very flattering for my complexion.
I think it's fine. What's wrong with it?
Well, what do you care? You think you look good in white?
I look great in white. Everybody knows this about me. Everybody.
Oh, okay, Trev. No problem.
I would buy me a cigar.
I like me.
I know you do.
I'm a pretty good dude. I've tried, but I like me. So I'm going to I look at me now, and I see all the warts.
No, I was gonna say, I'm pretty high on Burburia.
Yeah, me too.
From Iowa Western. I think that's a dude. And so I did want to talk about the Iowa Western thing for a second here.
Fair game.
Because
a program near and dear to my heart.
I know. You got some friends over there.
Yep.
I know you like a lot of the players over there.
I send a lot of guys over there. I love their coaching staff.
We talked to Coach Stroh before their championship game. Like, I think you're more familiar with them I am. I think we're both very fond of Iowa Western.
Yeah. I agree, JK.
What'd JK say?
He said Bearcade doesn't look athletic, but he is. He is athletic.
He moves super awkward, though.
And he is so long. You see him in the post last night, which is what he should do more of.
Very good.
That's a good athletic move.
Very good in the
And
post.
he finally spun left.
Which is helpful.
Yeah, but when you're left-hand, a lot of times you don't like to do
Yeah,
that.
a lot of times you don't like to go to the – yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that's an
because you like to protect the
that's
ball.
an athletic move.
So let me ask about Iowa Western, because a lot of people
– I can't read Barry's name with a straight face.
Well, a lot of people have mentioned with the commitment of Burburia that it's like, oh, it's about time. It's about time you start dipping into the waters over at Iowa Western and stuff like that. Like,
I do not subscribe to that.
First of all, okay, so that was my first question.
I do not subscribe to
Is that a legitimate complaint?
No.
Second,
not in my opinion.
Secondly, if it's not, why isn't it? Because I think we see a lot of guys go to Division I programs from Iowa Western. So what's the disconnect there? Because I think it's really easy to look at and say, hey,
nobody wants real answers.
I would like a real
They
answer.
just want to be opinionated. I think Bo was limited in terms of what his boss wanted him to do in the junior college ranks.
Fair.
I think I think it was just short of a mandate.
Okay.
But as Nebraska was flirting with the idea of their academic status and what they wanted to do, and we had a guy in Perlman that said it was overrated.
Moving into the Big Ten, wanted to keep that academic.
I think.
Okay.
So Bo is something different. Riley didn't have the know-how yet. Just wasn't connected. So he gets a pass.
Also, the JUCOs on the left coast aren't quite the same thing as they are here. Like, it's a different thing.
And while Frost had a unique relationship with Stroh, the more comfortable you are with somebody can breed complacency. So it turned into more of a, hey, if you've got a guy, let me know, than versus we'll make the concerted effort to be over there.
So
it's not like this one sweeping.
Just one reason.
Yeah, it's not.
Can I?
And Stroh is super visible. Like, he's in the area a lot. He's at a lot of high school games. He's very easy to talk to. And so, but to his credit, he's also well established enough where he's got pride too, right? He shouldn't have to beat down your door either. Like, hey, you know where I am.
We're pretty good
at this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some of that is just maturity in guys. There isn't any it's just easy, uneducated, in my opinion, low-hanging fruit to make all the common disconnects about why they're like, the bastard child, for lack of a better
So there's
term.
no like overarching.
I don't think so.
But let me ask you
because
this.
they're they've had really good players. I think for each coach it was something different.
So
and let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Like, Coach Rule contemplated hiring. Like, he's well aware of Iowa Western.
So you do agree, though, that there are players that have been at Iowa Western over whichever coaching staff that could have been helpful to Nebraska.
Yes.
Fair. And Nebraska probably should spend more time building a relationship with Iowa Western.
Fair.
Because I think that's what I think some people want to put it all in the same bucket, right?
Yeah, but again,
but
remember,
the overarching complaint
you had the
is
transitioning of the
Transfer
transfer
portal.
portal versus junior college. So that put things at a stalemate.
There weren't places for them.
Yeah.
Well, if we felt like there weren't places for them.
Easier film to watch.
D1 versus D1 versus JUCO.
Correct.
That's fair. That's why a lot of guys avoid quarterbacks.
Now, I know that's not confrontational, and it's not finger pointing, and it isn't hot take or
no. I want a real answer. I want a real answer.
I'm just giving you the practicality of what I think hindered
Because
different coaches at different times.
Because for somebody who hasn't gotten in the weeds on it, like it is really easy to look at. Okay, it's like, okay, they're sending all these guys to Division I football. It's a lot of them to power conferences, and Nebraska is an hour and 15 minutes away. It's a little bit further than people think.
Do you think Coach Rule spent time with Aaron Terry on a humbug? Like,
No, I don't.
Okay, so Frost had it like that's his own deal with him and Stroh.
Well, to be fair, also, Frost and his staff didn't spend enough time anywhere. Locally, I didn't.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I think Frost had other foibles that I think limited going to the junior college ranks, and one of them was, I think they got impatient with the recruiting evaluation process.
Okay.
I think a lot changed with the exodus from Miami when he brought the first group in terms and kind of panicking about talent versus who's really going to be all in for the long haul. Because I think over time he figured out that's what that job was really going to take. He just didn't think he was going to be the guy for it, or he wasn't the guy that was for that, right? Because it's just grimy. Like and I think he knew that the hourglass was ticking. I'm not making excuses. I'm giving you an explanation.
Yeah.
Riley, again, the junior college that he was raiding up in Corvallis and along that left coast were different than just popping over to Iowa Western, because at that time it was, hey, OCs, quarterback coaches, we need to be traveling the country to figure out how to incorporate this quarterback run game, because this guy we have right now, Tommy Armstrong, we got to figure out how to transition, because this isn't who we're used to coaching.
Yeah.
And Bo, I think, had restrictions on what he could recruit out of the junior college ranks, because he did try, whether it was Snow or like, and remember those guys, it didn't go well early. Now he had a few that he inherited, right? A couple state but it was touch and go, man.
Do you think with the way the transfer portal have changed, where do you think that leaves junior college recruiting?
So I think junior college will come back around.
I actually agree.
I think junior college will come back around, because what's starting to happen?
These guys are starting to filter down because they don't have anywhere else to land.
And it's not always an academic thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes
they're looking for
guys
places
want
to play.
Sometimes guys want bridge years with eyeballs to go do their thing. So you get a lot of good players. Right? It's like
it's not always academics or behavior.
I'm academically eligible.
Yeah.
I just want to go here to buy myself some time. Like you'll see it a lot with quarterbacks, because the first preference is to keep your own. The next preference is to get one out of the portal. The next preference is high school. Wait, buy time to develop. I mean, because nobody's knocking Cignetti about QB development.
Nope.
Do you know why?
Because they're winning.
Because he's gone 2 for 2. Do you know why people didn't continue to knock Harbaugh on QB high school development? Because he won a national title in 2023
with a guy he recruited.
Right. So
yeah,
like early on, it was you can't just keep getting guys from other teams.
Yeah.
And bridging the years.
But nobody has a problem when Miami does it. Nobody has a problem when Cignetti does it.
I just don't know how sustainable it is.
Sure.
I think you've always got to get quarterbacks out of high school at some point.
I wonder if that's true for everybody.
Certainly not, but I mean,
like in the sense that there's going to be some teams or some places where you're able to, like, I do think this is Miami's plan. Whether it's a good plan or not, I don't know. But I think their plan is, hey, let's put together really good defensive lines, offensive lines.
This is going to sound dumb. Who won the national title last year?
Who won the national title last year? That would have been Ohio State.
Okay.
With a transfer quarterback.
Okay. He bought some time. Who won the national championship before that?
Michigan. J.J. McCarthy.
Okay. Did the quarterback before that come from high school?
Before McCarthy?
Did the quarterback before that come from high school? Did the quarterback before that come from high school?
You're testing my memory here.
No, and I'm not expecting you to know off the top. What I'm saying, if you just, when you look at the quarterback spot, you have to be very, very careful. I'm just playing into your point that you just said.
Sure.
It's not, it can depend on who you are.
I think I also,
because because my point in that is it depends on what's around you.
That's kind of my point, though. With it depends on who you are, right? If you're able to put everything else around it, it's easier, I think, to go get a quarterback and say, "Hey, you can put us over the top."
Was there elite talent in Columbus at the skill spots?
Yes.
Defensively?
Yes.
Sand came from where, though?
High school.
Okay.
Or technically Alabama, I guess, but he never played at Alabama.
Yes.
So I don't know what to do with that. High school, I guess,
It's just it depends on what's around it.
So Stockton
was recruited at Georgia.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of the other guy. The
Ram?
Frodo
Bennett?
Yeah, Stetson.
Yeah.
But he was JUCO.
Yeah.
And Georgia, JUCO back to Georgia. That's
Right.
an interesting one.
But he was their own.
He was. That's a super,
and developed.
Yes. See, and you can't really go. I mean, you can, but you can't really go past 2021
because of the portal.
I
understand.
I mean, you go to LSU, you get Burrow, even though he sat out, right? Like that's an interesting one as well. But I do look at it, I go, okay.
And remember, when Burrow went to LSU,
yeah,
he was coming from Ohio. Right.
Yeah, Ohio State.
And it was
hadn't played.
Yeah, he hadn't played yet, and it was like nobody knew.
No, nobody had any idea.
So, and I get the whole "is he better than what we got" thing. I'm not trying to.
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about.
Give me the next one.
The next one before
2018.
Clemson. So that's Lawrence.
Yeah. Where did he come from?
High school.
Who developed him?
Clemson.
Okay.
Alabama's 2017. They didn't take any transfer quarterbacks for all of Saban's time, as far as I'm aware. 16 is Deshaun Watson.
Where was he? Who recruited him?
Dabo at Clemson.
Was he developed?
Yep.
Okay.
Here's my question, though. Okay, so 2 of our last 3, including this year. I know, but you have to stop at 2021, really.
No, I'm with
you,
boss.
So you go Georgia 2021, 2022. They got their guy Stetson Bennett.
Guy.
Michigan is their guy 2023. Mm-hmm. Ohio State's transfer. This year's going to be a transfer no matter who wins. So, like, that's what I'm interested to see. These high-end teams, I don't think they want to wait on a high school guy anymore. Like, if they think they can win a national championship with the rest of their roster, are they willing to wait on a high school guy still?
So,
or to take the chance on
the
experience?
Do you think the popularity of all the big-name quarterbacks in the portal will be attractive or a deterrent, or are you waiting?
I'm waiting.
Because if Sorsby doesn't put Texas Tech in a national title game, it is an epic failure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because that's exactly the example.
Lagway doesn't have a job. Like, there are so many of these quarterbacks.
I agree. But that's exactly the example of what I'm talking about. Texas Tech thinks they're a quarterback away from winning a national championship. They went out and paid for the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Now we'll see what happens. Right? Oregon now they developed Dante Moore.
And
he's still a transfer.
He sat, though.
But I do think it is important to delineate between types of transfers, because there's instant starters and then there's development guys too. Like saying I'm going to call a development guy even though he's a transfer
because they were patient. He had to buy a little time.
Dante Moore's the same way. Yeah. He didn't start right away.
That's why I was hoping that Simpson, even though I didn't think Alabama was championship worthy, I wanted to see
him do it.
Yeah.
I mean, halfway through the year, even 3/4 of the way through the year, nobody's playing better than Ty Simpson.
And I did say that I thought Mendoza would be successful with Cignetti because of what he did with work.
Yeah.
I certainly did not see Heisman. So
you didn't think he was going to be this. But you thought he was going to be good.
And they're significantly better
everywhere else.
Yeah. And, you know, the dirty little secret, like he kept his O-line coach that was at Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
He kept him.
You know, I like to take my victory laps. I also, I'm not going to pretend like I'm not going to pretend like I thought Carson Beck was going to play for a national championship this year.
Yeah.
As much as I
did like him.
But as much as I was like, hey, like, are we crapping on Carson Beck too much? I do think it's interesting where that leaves.
Dank asked he's asking the right question.
What do you ask?
He said if they have the roster, I think the question is, can they afford to wait?
Yeah, that's the right question.
I mean,
I just think it puts a really interesting spot. Where does that leave JUCO recruiting? Where does that leave high school recruiting? Because at some point, not to go all Moneyball on you, there's going to be a market inefficiency.
Oh, yeah.
And Nebraska needs to be sure that they take advantage of it. Yeah. When I look at Burburia, I think maybe they're starting to.
And Trey Taylor and
mm-hmm.
I mean that gets two of the options there.
The JUCOs
in high school.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back tomorrow with more Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.